This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
We got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans. That's all it counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Hey, folks. Welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm James Boyd, and here with me I have Rich Latta. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Just chilling and ready for another great show of One Nation Radio. But this is a day that's been a long time coming for James, and there's happy events set to take off. Taking pleasure in the misfortune of an individual. So I'm gonna just get out of the way, man. Jimbo Fisher.
Well, I was gonna lead up to it, so I'm gonna still just pretend you didn't say the name. I'm just gonna get to it. So, last weekend was a good weekend for me, man. Like for those that don't know or haven't listened to the show before, I'm a huge Florida State football fan. It's probably the first thing I ever loved that wasn't a family member. Like, just gotta be honest with you. Well, I'd probably take that back. Probably like Hulk Hogan Ultimate Warrior Sting, some shit like that. Maybe, whatever. Besides the point, right? Yesterday or this weekend, we had to play one of our biggest rivals, Miami. We beat that ass. It was fun. The game was It was a 2-score game. They caught a lucky break, and they ended up making a 1-score game. Miami fans, they're still in the delusion. They still always think that, like, they're always back. Like, it's a situation where, like it's 1980, like it's 1987, where, like, we're University of Miami, the biggest fucking, like, or most fertile recruiting ground in the nation is Miami. We could just turn the key and get it going. It's like, nah, man, not quite. Like, y'all campus is, like, 21 miles away from your stadium. Like, your indoor facility is 60 yards long. There's a lot of problems going on. There's a lot of problems y'all got.
Wasabi King in the comments saying, like the Knicks, there is some similarities between the Miami fans and the New York Knicks fans, but I feel like the Knicks fans need a lot less to come out here and puff the chest out.
They are similar. The similarities are that they're always talking shit. Win, lose, draw, they're always talking shit. Where the similarities end is that the University of Miami has won something in my lifetime. Okay, they've won 3 national championships. I've been alive. They've won 5 national championships. Right, the titles from 1970 and 1973 for the Knicks. This shit's over 50 years old now. Right?
They are.
You know
I was gonna say. Let's see. Things that happened in 1973.
Oh, damn.
Jesus Christ.
What year did John Lennon get shot?
Richard Nixon was the president of the United States.
Jesus fucking Christ. So like, let's put it this way. Let me tell you how long ago that was. Like,
the Vietnam War ended that year.
Yeah, right. That's
I think we can leave it there.
Yeah. I mean, you want to considering this show as, like, O.J. Simpson made a run for 2,000 yards that year. If I may be mistaken, but, like, it was one of them years around that time. But anyway, so Florida State beats Miami. Great game, or a great result for me, or whatever else. It it was one of those things where it's like you look at the score, you watch the game, you're just like, okay, they have no shot. Like they have a rookie quarterback or a freshman quarterback in. He's 8 for 23. He can't hit the side of a barn accurately. They are literally just blitzing off the edge to try to contain getting gap from runs. They can't do anything. They're just done. They're toast. They can't move the ball. Period. Like put it in park. It's over. This whole second half is a wrap. Right. So really fun. Just being able to watch Florida State Miami game without having any fear of losing at all. Go ahead.
One more thing.
Yeah.
The New York Knicks win the NBA title on May 10th, 1973. Do you know what happens 1 week later? Watergate.
Oh shit. Wow. All right, so I'm gonna speed up the story to get to it. I'm gonna speed up the story because we're already like 4
minutes.
Go to
hell, Knicks.
Yeah, go to hell, Knicks, and honestly, go to hell, Miami. So Florida State's 10-0, back-to-back years, 10 wins. Right, it's just a really good feeling. And you know we play Florida. Florida's defense is even worse than Miami's or whatever else. They're obviously a little bit better, but like they're in the process of like They just played Georgia, got their ass stomped out. They just played LSU this week and got stomped. They lost to sorry-ass Arkansas a couple weeks ago. They played Missouri, they're going to lose. Like, they play us. Like, they could go out here and and finish 5-7 by losing out, like, the entire, like, or last 5 games of the year, right? Just a disaster. It's great for me. It's really great, like, just the situation that these schools are in right now in the state of Florida. And then I go to sleep, lay my head on the pillow, and I am awoken to see messages from Rich saying, wake your ass up. And I scroll up, and it says that Jimbo Fisher has been fired from Texas A&M. Now, I am a petty man. I'm not even going to say I'm not a petty man. Ain't gonna lie. Like, in public, I am not. In private, Rich knows this. I'm every bit as bad as he is. I just don't press send on the tweets or write up no 1,000-word like article to just like lay out my disgust on all the levels. I vent to people in private. They know, they understand how I get down. My get down is different from Rich's. That like I'm just not gonna put out there. I'm not gonna put that energy out into the world for everyone to see. I will put it out for my friends to see so they know where I stand. So, Jimbo Fisher won a national championship at Florida State University. And I will show you what I wrote at the time when he decided to leave for Texas A&M and all that money. And good for him getting all that money. But I was also very, 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 very glad that he left, because I didn't want him anymore, because I knew he couldn't fix this problem that he dug the program into. So I'll give you the gist. I basically wrote a list, kind of like the Bill Simmons book of basketball resume. Mentioned 8 seasons, 83 wins, 5-2 in bowl games, national championship, 3 AC titles. He went 14-2 versus Miami and Florida. He, 13 All-Americans, 45 NFL draft picks, 9 first rounders. You get the gist. 39-3 record from 2012 to 2014. You get all that. Moving forward. I said he consistently ran on one of the slowest offenses in the country. He was ultra conservative on 4th down. He ate timeouts like potato chips. He behaved childishly on the sidelines. He mismanaged his stale coaching staff at the end of his run. He consistently used other open coaching jobs for pay raises and political leverage. But with that said, he took a program that was still stuck in the 90s, raised big time money, got football facilities upgraded on campus within 3 years, and within 3 years, consistently out-recruited everyone outside of Nick Saban and Urban Meyer. He's leaving the program in far better condition than when he took it over, and proving you can win big in Tallahassee without being Bobby Bowden. Thank you, Jimbo. Now, let's focus on that that second to last sentence. He proved that you can win big in Tallahassee without being Bobby Bowden. After 2014, after James' last year, I'll take that back. After he squandered 2015, when it was Dalvin Cook's it was Jalen Ramsey's last year, Dalvin Cook's sophomore year, Derwin James's freshman year. I just named to you 3 future Pro Bowlers.
Yep.
After he squandered it, I was like, I don't know, he's gonna have to change his staff. He refused. He did not get rid of Charles Kelly. We then proceeded as the fan base locally decided to, or not locally, on the internet decided to call anytime they would blow a third and long, we called it third and Kelly. Because it was so consistently happening that he would win on second down, win on third, or win on second down, win on first down, blow it on third down, restart it, gut punch, got to get real back on defense. So I also, before Jimbo left, because I was getting fed up, I never liked Jimbo this whole run. Just telling y'all all that. You saw that in the thing that I said that he left, basically giving him backhanded compliments on his way out the door. I had also wrote, scrolling for it, found it. Jimbo Fisher's coaching record at Florida State. Pre-Jameis, 31-10. With Jameis, 27-1. Post-Jameis, 21-9. Florida State's recruiting class rankings the last 4 years. Now, this is from 2017. So this is like the composite roster of what he had. He had, in 2014, number 4. 2015, number 3. 2016, number 3. 2017, number 6. Conclusion, Jimbo Fisher ain't shit without a Heisman-winning number 1 overall quarterback as his number 1 overall pick as his quarterback. I have been sitting on this for years and years and years. And when around 2017, I believe that is when they were, trying to kick out Les Miles out of LSU, and LSU was gunning for Jimbo. And I was like, please, he's done here. He ain't gonna win. He's not gonna win at the level that Florida State can win at here anymore. He's fucked it. It's a wrap. It's done. But it didn't work. They gave Les Miles another year. And then they fired him, and then they brought in, I forgot who. They brought in Orgeron. Yeah. Or they promoted Orgeron, right? And Orgeron won a fucking national title. But besides the point, Jimbo sticks around again, right? And it keeps going down. It keeps going down. And it's like, he's not fixing this. It gets even worse and worse. And then the people start getting on my side. I was saying this back then in 2017. 2018 rolls around, they're like, oh, it's over. It's really, really over. So then he packs up. Texas A&M pays him a boatload of money because they have more money than God. They got more money than Texas. That's how much money they got. I used to think that Crazy. Texas A&M had like top 5 money. No, they got more money than everybody. Literally everybody. So he leaves. I was like, good riddance. The whole thing about like the stupid local coach talk shows that they do with Saban or everybody else.
Oh, those are so great.
Like when they asked him about loyalty, when the dude walked up and asked him about loyalty, and then they ran him off, right? I was like, good for him, because he has consistently with the LSU job hit him up for more money. Then the A&M job, Florida State was like, no, we're not doing this again with you. Leave, walk. We're not going to wait 3 more years and have to fire you and pay you all that money on a buyout. And sure enough, look at A&M's buyout, $75+ million. So,
brother,
going back,
John James Fisher, ultimate hustler.
Yes. Him and his agent, Jimmy Sexton. So, he goes to Texas A&M. On the way out, he's bitching last year he's bitching and complaining about the commitment towards winning and all this kind of stuff. And to be fair, he was correct in some aspects. Florida State, when he first got the job at taking over Bowden, he did raise the facilities up in the money. The problem is Florida State's structure is different from most schools. I'm not going to bore you in the details of it. But basically, they want to be good at every sport, not just college football. So the money's tied up in different places or whatever else. And also, like, as the spending keeps changing, it evolves. So once fast forward past even the Taggart era, once Norvell got there, they sat down and looked and said, all right, all the other schools in the ACC spend this percentage on college of their money for sports on college football. Florida State's dead last for football. We're the best job in the conference. Why are we spending the least percentage on money when everybody else is out doing this? We quickly changed that.
Location.
Right? So,
what was their thinking was, well, we in Florida, we can just recruit locally. Like, what was that the mentality on that?
So Florida has, so Florida State and Miami, going back to like when this thing took off in the 80s for all 3 schools with the population boom and everything, it was an untapped source. No one knew that Miami was its thing. It was a sleeper city for all that talent. No one knew that basically from I-4 below, this is the best country area for college football. People learned this over the decades, but they didn't know that because the population booms. But once they did, everybody starts to recruit. Everybody recruits Florida. Everybody does. So what happened was, once you have, Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama, USC, Michigan, on and on and on and so forth, also recruiting, people look around and be like, hey man, like, look at these facilities. That's real nice. Hey man, like, I'm playing, like, University of Miami, it's always been a dump. Their facilities have always been a dump. But it didn't matter because they get to play within an hour of the school. So I didn't care. I could stay home, my mama can watch me or whatever else. In college, in high school football in Miami is big time. So, people be gambling on the games. And then when whatever person out here gambling on these games make some bread off you, they break you off with a Cuban link. Like that's what we talking about, right? So moving on to that. So basically, these schools can run on the cheap because of untapped resource. People didn't realize it. And then once the secret was out, they had to start competing. So Florida with Urban Meyer moved forward. Miami did not, and also the administration has a love-hate relationship with the football program because obviously, like, the reason why people pump so much money in these universities into their college football program is because that helps enrollment. They want, like, that's their advertising arm for the school, right? So we're winning right now. They always have the commercials during for the schools and all this in the conferences. It's to be like, hey, like, come here, you can have a good ass time with some extracurriculars as opposed to just get a good ass education. So like it's hilarious, like the Deion stuff. Like Deion's in the Deion smiling with the cowboy hat on is in the Colorado's one this year, right? Like, so like when people talk about like why did Colorado do this? It's like because Deion makes people feel good, fool. So anyway, they fell behind. Miami fell behind. Florida State fell behind. Florida did not because they had Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer was like, and also they had Zook at the time. And Zook was a good recruiter, bad coach. And then Urban Meyer got there and he was just one of the greatest coaches ever. And he's like, I'll take what you have with your nice recruiting classes and I'll just add on to what I have. And then Urban left. Miami was still in the dumps. They still don't want to pay to have a program run at the level of, of their historical legacy. And Florida State was like, we got to catch up. They caught up, and then they fell behind again because they're like, all right, this all we need to spend. We don't need to do anything more. And then the thing about this is an arms race. It keeps going up all the time, and it changes. So, at the end of Jimbo's reign, it fell down, or it fell behind again. Not as much as it was like at the end of the Bowden run, but it fell behind. It still was no excuse when he had that level of recruiting talent on the field. Like there are so many dudes from those teams that were like high-rated guys, didn't do much at Florida State, and then they're in the NFL right now, and they're good. And it's like, I hate that so much. But moving forward, Jimbo goes to A&M, and Texas A&M is a weird thing. We talked about it because, you always talk your ear off about college recruiting. Like, everything on paper says that this job should be great all the time. It's one hire away from being a great program. But it's always one hire away, and they never get it, and they've never gotten it for almost 100 years, or almost like 70 years at this point, 80 years.
I was gonna say because it's Texas A&M. Like it ain't Texas. It ain't like hell. We've seen numerous off-brand Texas schools pop up over the years, and they all seem cooler than A&M, Baylor, TCU, Texas Tech.
Yeah,
no one wants to be an Aggie. Look at the colors, like.
So you're right, and
except Johnny Manziel, like that's it.
Like it's a weird thing because it's like I get all that. On the other end, like it wasn't like Clemson was the coolest thing in the world either 15 years ago. But it got popping because they found the right coach. There was money that came into that area and whatever else. And like South Carolina at post Spurrier went back into the shitter being South Carolina. So, and also Georgia wasn't was still at the end of the Rick era, so they weren't like basically closing off Georgia, and Clemson was still like 115 miles, 120 miles away from Metro Atlanta. So like that's how they were able to do their thing. You see Dabo's not exactly doing so swell now that like there's a gate around the state of Georgia, and everybody that's a top 10 recruit is basically going to be a Bulldog.
When will we be back on here
for Dabo?
For Dabo, celebrating the legacy of Dabo Swinney.
You know what the sad part about this is?
Celebrating.
Look, you know what the sad part about this is? If you had told me 6 years ago that Dabo would absolutely be a better person at upholding a program than Jimbo Fisher, I wouldn't have believed that. But he's only had one bad season. He's only had one bad season. So anyway, so he's at A&M. A&M is an 8-4 program. It was an 8-4 program when it was in when it was in the SWAC. It was an 8-4 program when it was in the Big 12. It's an 8-4 program when it's in the SEC.
It's gonna be an 8-4 program 100 years from now.
That's what it feels like. They got all the money in the world. They're so close to Houston, which is the number 3 most or number 2, arguably the number 3 best recruiting area in the country. They got more money than everybody. They got deep pockets. All that money is in oil money and energy money. And they still can't figure it out, right? So they were like, look, we're going to pay this dude a boatload of money and we'll get him here. And what he do? He immediately started going 8-4, went 8-4 again. The COVID year happened. And in the COVID year, that's when Jimbo hit his lick. That's when I think he won. That's when he won 10 games. And they were like, oh, okay, it's on now. And that's when the recruiting starts picking up. That's like the year when he ends up having like the greatest recruiting class of all time based on like the recruiting branches that talk about this stuff, right? And people were all in. And then that's when they gave him the $90 million contract, whatever it was, that absurd extension that it was unneeded because no one was going to buy him out. And no one was going to take him away because Alabama and Georgia were already locked down with their coaches. Who was going to buy him out to take him? Nobody.
I guess maybe USC.
No. You gotta remember, like some of these, you gotta think of the fit of culture and all that kind of stuff. Jimbo's country. Tennessee? Nope. I mean, maybe, but like Tennessee doesn't have A&M money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he got him. He hit him for the lick. He brought them to the cusp. Everyone thinks like this is next, and then. The Nick Saban thing came out where Nick Saban they taped that video or they taped that audio of Nick Saban talking to boosters from Alabama saying that like all them players that A&M got he bought them or they were bought.
He bought them boys,
and this was just in private. This wasn't meant to be out for public consumption. It got out, and then Jimbo cut that promo at his press conference talking about. He said he thinks he's God. He says narcissist. He thinks he knows better than everybody. And said, all sorts of stuff about Saban, right? And meanwhile, like, he's beaten Saban. Flash forward now, he's only been able to beat Saban one time ever in his whole life as a coach. He's one of the many LeBron assistants on the Saban branch, right? All of them. Just all LeBros. Only person that's born as off that Saban branch and tree or coaching tree that's born any fruit is Kirby Smart. That's it, right? Well, you say Jimbo, he won that championship. I can't say that's unfair. That's something for me to say because he actually won that championship, so I can't say that. So two out of all the assistants in the SEC, well, like half the fucking SEC were all Saban assistants. Only 2 of them ever did anything. So moving forward, it's time. 2021 comes around, 8-4 fucking again. 2022 comes around, 8-4 again. Getting blown out by Miami, and Miami's a dumpster fire. So they come back this year. It's like, hey man, people start looking around like, hey man, that buyout's real high. It's not gonna happen this year, but it'll happen next year or 2 years from now once it gets down to the 50s. Because like before this weekend, the highest buyout ever was I think in the upper 20s. They bought this man out for 75 for basically nearly triple to get him out of there. Because they realized he couldn't fix this. And the funniest part about it is they won this weekend. They put 50 on Mississippi State. And then they said, oh no, we are not going to let you sneak your own hit. No, we want you out of here. Apparently there was a Board of Regents meeting a couple weeks ago to discuss moving on from him. They were like, all right, we're going to do it at the end of the season. Then he started winning. He starts blowing people up. Nope, we're not finna. Nope, you out of here. Go. We'll find somebody else. And now the coach search on, and Jimbo's out of there with all that money, ski mask on. Good for him. But I've been waiting for this so long because, man, I hated that guy coaching my team. I hated, and I said my team like even while he was successful, it was just not fun to sit there to be like, this dude is an offensive guru that has put quarterbacks in the league. Were they successful? No, that's neither here nor there. Put quarterbacks in the league. Meanwhile, he's out here trying to manage a game, and also looking through a fucking Cheesecake Factory menu of the flipping through to try to find the perfect call for this second and 5. Meanwhile, you look up, oh shit, timeout, because I've been my nose looking. I've lost track of time. There were so many games where they nearly lost because they didn't have enough timeouts because he couldn't manage the fucking game. He couldn't relinquish the reins to hand the play calling off to somebody else. Or I call a play, you call a play. And then I'm not even going to
running every play to the short side of the field.
Oh my God, you say it. Because, college has the wide hash, so like there's even less room if you're on the far thing. He loved nothing more than to run a fucking toss or a sweep or a screen over to the short side of the field where there's no space. What are you doing? Run it to the field, not the boundary, dummy. There were so many times you watch play calling, you're like, yo, I'm process over results. I'm watching the process. I see the down distance and time, and I'm like, that don't make sense unless you're setting this up to run something later. And I never see anything that seems like a setup for, or what was setting up for the decoy play to get to it later. Like I watch Norvell and Alex Atkins all the time running stuff that is setting up stuff that you eventually see later, right? Like, So against Miami this week, Miami basically runs bear front. Bear front, for those that don't know, is basically run like a 3-4 defense, except instead of the defensive ends being over the tackles, they're basically over the guards, right? So it's basically 3 interior defensive linemen over the top of the guards in the center, and then have 2 dudes down the edge. So it looks like a 5-man front. They ran a different variation of counter with a fucking tight end pulling from the backside. That's rare. That's some like shit from the 80s. They're always trying new things or whatever else in Norvell's system, right? Not Jimbo. You know what you're getting. And eventually they say, hey, man, the money talked to A&M and said, or A&M's money talked to them and said, hey, Jimbo, you got to relinquish play calling. Bring in Bobby Petrino. You had your little scandal thing going on with the Jameis Winston thing. We're going to bring in this dude that was out here sleeping with the help to be the offensive coordinator.
Bobby Petrino's story is one of the funniest things, I think.
This man thought he broke his neck and then put on a neck brace and with his face scarred up to try to lie over how he fell off that motorcycle with that woman that was married to somebody that was also on the staff. Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
Dirty.
Yeah. So what happened? What happened with handing over the reins to Bobby Petrino? There was a game a couple weeks ago where Petrino looks like it's a 4th down, which is a notoriously bad area for Jimbo because he's ultra conservative. Even in this area, he's still ultra conservative.
Petrino's neck strong. Damn. Dan.
He goes out there. Petrino is literally calling plays like, okay, this is 4 down territory. I'm gonna use my 3rd down play to set up, get short distance, and then I already have in my back pocket what I want to do with my 4th down play. That 4th down come around, Jimbo sends out the punt team on Bobby Petrino. Petrino look out fucking perplexed. He didn't even get on the headphones always on. The telephone's always on. He ain't hang up or didn't do nothing. He's like, send the punt team out. Fuck you, Petrino. While being told you need to delegate this stuff because you're bad at handling it, because you need to manage the game, because you need to be the CEO, not the person that's out here, doing the middle management kind of things, he still can't relinquish control. And it's so funny because, like, when he was offensive coordinator at LSU when they won that national title, him and Saban had beef because he didn't like how Saban ran things and thought that like it was his way or how he was too rigid. And meanwhile, you've seen how Saban's offense have changed post Tua, right? I thought you were the one that said someone was conservative. He's changed. He's evolved. He goes for it on fourth down. He understands math. Why do you not understand math? So, with that said, whatever booth you end up in, probably he'll be on the CBS thing, calling the SEC games, whatever else. He's gonna have to bend the knee and have to pucker up to Saban when he sees him, whatever else, at SEC championship games in Atlanta in the next few years, whatever else. He's gonna have to about face all that. He's gonna have to run that all back. And I'm here for it. So can't wait to see you next fall, Jimbo, on the CBS set. If you find another job, whatever else, change, or this will happen to you again.
James Boyd will be rooting against you no matter where you go.
I will be rooting for you. I will be rooting against you until you change. And if you don't change, I will be doing what? Rooting against you.
So yeah, Jimbo Fisher, you can go to hell. I guess.
Bro, it's so sweet, bro. It's so sweet. He nosedived the plane, and as Norvell has like gotten past the Taggart stuff and has gotten it up, gotten the plane back up, going back up to 30,000 feet in the air. Damn, he crashed in the mountain. Oh well.
Damn.
It's so sweet. It's so sweet.
Man. Yeah. So Jimbo Fisher.
How long did we spend on that? How long?
At least he can make.
We went 30 minutes on this.
At least we can count on seeing Jimbo for the 10-year anniversary for the national championship. He can show up uninhibited.
Yeah, that's right. Next week is senior night. Florida State, and also because national championship in '93, national championship 2013, they're bringing both teams back, and now that Jimbo ain't got nothing to do.
Did Jimbo get booed?
Rich, why do you think I want him to show up? you thought I want him there from out of sincerity of my heart? Because
bad faith.
I want him to come out there and all the players get cheered. Devontae Freeman, yay! Mario Edwards, yay! Jalen Ramsey, if he's there, he's not playing, and he has a bye week, whatever, yay! All that kind of stuff. Jim and the head coach, Jimbo, boo! Boo!
Oh man, throw stuff at him. Throw D batteries at him. Jesus. But yeah, man.
But hey, man. But Jimbo, for real, come through though. Like, you ain't got no job. You ain't shit else to do. It's Saturday. Come through. Come get booed.
Oh man. So I was watching Collision on Saturday night, and all of a sudden there was like Bryan Danielson wrapped with a gauze in his eye, and Tony Khan showing up. It was about 9:00, and then they just announced that Danielson will be at All In next year. And then the second thing was like, oh, one more thing. By the way, we're going to create a new tournament, round robin style, with 12 top stars. And it's going to be the greatest tournament in wrestling. And it's going to culminate at World's End. And over the next 6 to 8 weeks, they're going to have these round robin matches all on TV. I think this is a great idea to try to get tickets going in all these cities. And Tony Khan dropped the names of like 12 different cities like the matches are going to take place in. The question is, with the AEW roster, like, this thing is straight, like, we've always kind of asked for a G1 in AEW. Never really thought they'd do it. People say famously Vince McMahon didn't think people were smart enough in America to know how a round robin tournament would work. And I look forward to seeing the people in bad faith or not understanding how this works. I think it's going to be quite comedic. But 12 names from AEW. If you just took, like, I wanted to look at this list because I saw a lot of people tweeting mock lists. I sent one out myself, and there's there's a familiar sentiment that keeps emerging. No bums allowed. Not no bunch of bums. That's what people do not want. No shitters are allowed in this
no
thing.
shitters. So I'm a steal or paraphrase Rocco when he put out that mixtape. No whack acts.
Right. So
Okay.
I figured this would be a perfect time for us, and this may be like an extended kind of segment because I kind of want to bring up everyone kind of in a sense because we're looking at 12 spots and ironically New Japan should be cutting down their entries and AEW really should be increasing them. This is not the G1 of old. I think we're competing with.
Right.
I saw some of our
this stuff has to fit into TV segments.
Like I saw our Stardom brethren saying, "I will be calling this like the 5-star American version instead of the A1. This is going to be the 5-star Continental." Join whatever
funny.
their name
I mean,
was.
look. I mean, to be fair, they've had the better round robin tournament the last 3 years.
Correct.
So before you get into that,
yeah.
Damn, I forgot my point. Damn, I forgot what your point. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm looking at this roster and it's like there's so many interesting conversations if we keep it to because like I feel like this like the absolute 12 best guys in AEW you can think of. I don't think all 12 of them will be in this.
Right.
Could there be champions in this? There could be. I doubt it. I feel like champions are not going to be in this. The first person announced was Bryan Danielson.
I remember my point. I'm sorry. I remember my point.
Yeah,
so
go ahead, Jim.
You mentioned like the that Vince McMahon thought that it could be confusing doing a round robin tournament or whatever else, and then people will be in bad faith, and I'll be like, "Do you watch college football? We just spent a half hour talking about college football. Like, you know what a round robin tournament is? You know what a round robin tournament is? It's called conference play between the two divisions. The SEC East, SEC West, they all play each other up and down, and then whoever got the most wins goes to the championship, goes to Atlanta in the SEC championship game. And they determine who wins and loses by, if they have the same number, the winner, the person that won that match, goes through. It's real fucking simple. It's just like that. It's just like that, except they have points or whatever else.
Now, I'm not saying that champions aren't going to be in. I just don't know. Like, it just doesn't feel like it's a champions kind of thing. I feel like they should take this tournament dead serious. There should be no, in most tournaments in AEW.
No Danhausen?
There's absolutely not. There are usually like say if there's an 8-man tournament, like there's like a quadrant of like people there is like, why are those 4 fucking in there? And then there's one side of the bracket that's like super strong, and then it's like you wasted like a bunch of spots, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, so this, I think they need to send a message. And literally the elite of the elite need to be in this thing. But with that comes, different conversations of like, hey, do you want to try to elevate people? Do you want to give someone a shot to try to do something? Yes. Do you want to, is there going to be somebody like an older star that's in this thing? Because, star power and there's nothing else to do with them. Different stuff like that. So like, going through it, like, it's a lot of interesting names. So,
I'm looking at the chat and I see Brewhaven said Dax Harwood stay home. And I gotta say I disagree because if Dax Harwood's singles matches, that I'm good. Him wrestling is not the problem. It's everything else but the wrestling that's the problem with him some of the time.
We will get to Dax Harwood later in the show.
God, what happened now?
So, and there's lots of talented people, like people that can wrestle that it's like, I think are going to be on the outside looking in if we just look at this thing. So, gonna take it,
Brewhaven said Dax Harwood is a charity case singles wrestler. Don't believe his lies, James. Look, man,
Thank you.
Look, I get what you're saying for the. I'm talking as far as him trying to be most outstanding wrestler. Yes, you're right about that. I'm talking about for like what he does for AEW is AEW. Basically, everybody that's a tag team guy has singles matches and they lose to whoever the singles act they're facing. The only exception, really, historically in AEW is like O'Reilly before he got hurt. Like that, and that was O'Reilly's thing. Was like he's a tag guy that actually like wins singles matches. And then he got fucking around and got hurt, and we haven't seen him since. Please don't be the devil. Please don't be the devil. But yeah, man, like Dax, like he serves purpose. Like he's a quality guy people believe in. Like it's not any different from watching, like well, it's different. But it's a similar implementation of like of putting Ricky Morton in a singles match back in the day. It's like people know him, people know he can go. Throw him out there, let him have matches, get other people over, or let him get over for a particular time. That's all it is.
So, I'm going to start at the top. Someone that they use on television quite a bit, but he's usually in a losing role, but AR Fox. I kind of wanted to look at it in three kind of different concepts. Is it a could be in it, would be outrage, and then no business being in this thing? I think AR would be outrage thing is as good as he is. He never wins anything. True. So,
So it would be different.
That's true.
If all you do is lose, come out here and lose.
Yep. So I'm just going to record the could be in it. So AR Fox is not going to make the list here, unfortunately. Obviously, Aaron Solo, no business, I would say. Action Andretti, no business. Adam Cole's injured.
No business. He's injured.
And here we go. Adam Copeland.
I don't want him in this.
See?
I don't want him in this. Because he's look, man, if I have to see him lay on the mat for 5 minutes in all 6 of these matches, I'm a scream.
I feel like he could be in it. And
I'm gonna dig up Michael Jackson. I'm gonna go get Janet. I'm gonna get that guitar, and I'm gonna scream. No.
And you look at it, the pay-per-view's this Saturday. After the pay-per-view, it's gonna be things. I feel like they're going to need something to do with this guy. I feel like he's in the could be in it pile. And it's like, I want to put the ED or the Adam in the could be in it and the Copeland in the outrage section. Like it's there. I'm going to put him in the could be in it because I could easily see him being in it.
Look, I see. Okay. Because he was out here talking about New Japan or whatever else, and I could face Okada. Then it's like, oh, this is a threat. This is a threat. He's threatening to do these things. Like yeah, fine. This is something he probably would want to do, but it's like you shouldn't want to do this. This is bad. This is a bad idea. You're going to get hurt.
Yeah. Let's see. Alex Reynolds, no business.
Right.
Andrade El Idolo.
I would love for him to be in this.
Tell me why.
Because he's an awesome wrestler. And when they ever put him in a singles position this year or any year, he does very fucking well. And like you put him in there and it's like, all right, he can go 3-5. Or sorry, not 3, or 3-2 and then not win it. And that's fine. And given that like, the House of Black people are also people I would like to see in it. Like he had that whole thing before they pulled the plug on or whatever else. Like they can in theory reignite it that way.
I just feel like he has not been a regular enough presence going into this thing. So him, like, nothing taken away of his wrestling ability. The guy's great.
Yeah.
I just feel like nothing would be gained with him in it.
Well, obviously they're going to tie in people getting fucked over by people running in and doing distraction finishes or cheating, right? So you bring him in and like if you feel like he hasn't been, someone like Pac, for example, right? Another person like kind of feel, especially because like with Andrade is in the collision segregation thing, and like with Pac, it's actually like he just ain't here. Like, you could put them in here, and this is how you bring them back in and put them back into the fold and get them in matches. And then, like, you can tell your storylines, get them more integrated into the storytelling, like, interwoven in AEW that way by kind of reintroducing them that way.
I'll put him in the could be in it pile.
Okay.
Angelo Parker, no business, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
As much as I like Angelo Parker,
breeze through that. No. What the fuck did he give us? Give to the AEW fans by wrestling 5 singles matches?
Hey, he might pull out the switchblade.
We just had a discussion about Andrade not being on here. You want to put Angelo in? Unfortunately, come on, man.
Then we got Angelico. Unfortunately, I don't think Angelico will make the cut here. Gonna skip over the Acclaimed because they've got trios belts, and I don't think they're there.
I'm not trying to say Maskcaster. I'm not trying to Maskcaster or Billy Gunn in the A1 or whatever you want to call it. Nah, give Bowens barely. If Bowens Flow is in there, I think it makes sense. But you probably don't want Bowens in there.
Yeah. So now this guy's had a broken wrist, but I think he's back working, and this could be a great way to bring him back. And we know he's great. Bandito.
Yeah.
I feel like this would be made for Bandito.
He'd be great.
Especially,
we've seen him wrestle a bunch of matches before in short session.
Bandito, definitely. I would love to see it. Big Bill and Ricky Starks are the tag champs right now. I don't know if that will necessarily be the case after Full Gear.
That's okay. Just announce it now. Announce the names now. That's what we do. Okay.
Big Bill, no business. Ricky Starks
is a champion. We're not putting champions in this.
Yeah. We'll just skip Ricky.
I mean, because who would you rather see in the AEW G1? Ricky Starks or Bowens? Because I'd rather see Bowens.
I would rather see Bowens.
And also, it's like Bowens is somebody that you can slot to win one match.
Toa Leon and Bishop Khan, they're actually going to the World Tag League, so congratulations to them.
Congratulations. Take your belts over there. You can't be in.
Holla. We got the Butcher and the Blade. I think that they have no business in this. And we did lose the Bunny. The Bunny ended up departing from AEW, so acknowledge her. Blake Christian, man, he's on the ROH roster, no business. Boulder, no. Brandon Cutler, no business. No. Brian Cage, no business, unfortunately. I think there would actually be outrage if Brian Cage was in this thing.
Because he had to do all those jobs?
I think there would be two different things. There would be people that like him because he has big muscles and think that he should be pushed way harder. And then there will be people that are like, you fucking put him in it, he's just gonna have the same match 6 times. It's I think he's an outrage one more than he's a no business one.
Okay.
Brody King. They could do it, but man, they don't even let him wrestle singles normally. So I think it would be
I would love for him to be in it. To be just one of the the monster of a block. I would love for him to be in it though.
It would be dependent. Oh, okay, he's injured. Okay.
Okay.
I think for me it would be dependent on the field. If there's a case where it's just nothing but great dudes surround him. I feel like if you get him in there with somebody and they're not, and they want to take the night off, he won't necessarily be able to correct that.
Yeah, but we're booking this, so ain't nobody gonna be like that in here.
Buddy Matthews.
If Andrade don't make it, then why would he?
Yeah, I always feel like Buddy is he's never quite as great as you think. And then there's way too much. We already have Kenny Omega likely in this thing. So it's unless you want him in strictly to do the mirror match. That's it. That's all I really got. Chris Jericho. I'm going to give Chris the tournament off. I think there would be outrage if Jericho was in this thing personally, because there's outrage about everything Chris Jericho does, actually.
Yeah. This man is on a big down cycle, and people are still complaining as well.
Amazing. I think obviously, I think he would do well in it, but
he'd have to be Brawler Jericho. He can't be out here trying to carry it or whatever else. He has to basically wrestle like he wrestled Kingston or Ishii or Roddy Strong. Like just go out there and just brawl.
Yeah. So I'll put him in the would-be outrage category. CD, no business. For Christopher Daniels, Chuck Taylor, no business in this thing. Claudio Castagnoli,
got to be in there.
He could be in it.
Got to be in there.
Only thing I could say is like maybe they don't put every BCC member in it. Like 3 people, like in not.
I don't think they're putting you in there. No,
you stupid. Like I think they might get 2, maybe 2.
I think it should be probably 2 most from any faction.
So we're going to skip a couple of these because there's some, Cole Cabana, Cole Carter, Colton Gunn, Danhausen, Daniel Garcia. I think he could be in it.
Over Andrade?
Yeah, I think he's way more over than Andrade. Actually, and he wrestled Andrade on Saturday.
I mean, he's good enough to be in it. That's not the talent's not the issue. But like if he's gonna be in there and he's gonna eat a bunch of pins, he's already doing that.
Yeah, I think he makes
he just
a lot
did
of
at MJF.
I think he makes a lot of sense with like kind of what he has going on right now, just trying to like tap into, whatever.
Is he somebody that you have a losing record and get a big win over one of the main eventers?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that makes sense for him, especially because like that also like informs the story he's on right now. Where like MJF just looked him up and be like, "Do you want to be the wrestler?" And Sports Entertainer, he's like, "You're getting the wrestler," and then he goes out here and he's like, "I'm going back to the path of wrestler. I might still do the dance, but like I can do both."
How fucking ironic is MJF talking about that, by the way?
Yeah.
I would love to see this guy.
A guy that did like a show tune before.
Yeah. This guy has a broken leg, so get well soon, Dante Martin. Darby Allin, obviously, could be in it.
Yeah.
Could win this fucking thing. You never know.
That'd be nice. It'd be nice for Darby to win.
Yeah. We mentioned Dax Harwood earlier. I think there would be outrage personally. I would just be like, why are you wasting spots on a tag team guy?
Somebody got to think when people do this stuff, they just want to put all these stars in here, but you have to tier this stuff. You have to put people in there to eat pins. You have to put.
Do you have to, or could you just beat the stars? Like, it's going to be amazing if they find 12 people like that are stars that are willing to lay down like this.
I just historically, that's how it's always worked. Like, you put the roster out there, you put people in there, and then like you're going to have people have to, there are going to be people that are going to be like, 1-4, 2-3. That's just how it's going to work. You might have somebody go out there go 0-5 and have that probably be a part of a story.
Yeah, I see Dax.
Like put Dustin in there and have him go 0-5. But like, all right, this the end. Time to wrap it up. Time to send it on home. Time to go back to Texas.
Dralistico, kind of a tag team guy, so no business.
Nope.
I think Dustin Rhodes is a no business person at this stage.
I mean, this is how he wants to retire.
Yeah, you put him in there and be like, and then you do the 0-5 story with him and then send him off. That's the only thing. Yep. Eddie Kingston obviously could be in it.
Yeah.
Even though he's got, the ROH anchor on him, but
this is how he sets up title matches.
Right. Yeah, there you go. Ethan Page would be outrage for sure.
No.
Hangman Page obviously could be in it.
Yeah.
Nothing, unless you're a CM Punk fan, you don't want to see this guy ever. Hook. That's an interesting one.
No.
He's a no, right?
It's like
I think that brings into question like another thing with Hook is like, yo, are you gonna ever get the ball fucking rolling with this guy? Like, are you ever gonna like try to move him into like real matches and stuff like that?
They have more information than we do, so and that would suggest that he ain't ready for it. Because it's not like they're afraid to let Nick Wayne go out there and do his thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, Nick Wayne, highly touted prospect, indie superstar. Hook is none of those things. So,
but he was over 2 years ago.
But he was over
2 years ago.
A lot. But
2 years ago.
You know, it's like maybe they should send him out there and be like, "Yo, let's get it. Find out what you got."
I'm saying they have. I'm just thinking they have more information than we do. That's all.
Isaiah Cassidy, no business, unfortunately, for Brother Zay. Jack Perry. I think Jack Perry should be in this thing for sure. That would be a great way to return.
It would be nice for him. It would be nice for him to leave suspension to do that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this how you get out of the doghouse or whatever.
Yeah, real glass, Jack Perry. Let's go. Turn it up. I know when I saw the end of Dynamite this week and I saw Buddy get thrown through that glass, I immediately tweeted real glass, like, and it went off. Like, it went off. Oh, man, Jack Perry needs to come back. Welcome him home.
I'm still trying to figure out why he's suspended.
Right. It's like, nigga can't defend himself?
It's
like
been 2 months.
Like, bring him back. Where he at? He's got to be in this. Like, if he's not in this, I'm gonna start asking questions. I'm like, all right, man, what the fuck we doing, man? Like, it's either that or the devil. Like, bring my dog back.
Oh my god,
bring my dog back. So,
oh my god, that would make sense. Damn it, Rich. I don't want to see that, but that would make sense if it was him.
I mean, you know, all this shit MJF was talking to him earlier in the year, and
right, that's why it makes sense.
You know,
and then they had the pillars match or whatever else when he
didn't get pinned. Like, he was like kind of looking.
You know, he had the crisis of conscience with the belt. He ultimately didn't use it. He ends up getting end up backfiring him because he didn't do that or whatever else. He then turns on Hook after he loses Sonata. Yeah, man, like it would make a lot of sense if he was a devil. I don't want to see that.
Why not? What's wrong with Jack Perry?
I'm kind of done on Jack Perry like being pushed, or the idea of him ever being pushed to the top. I don't think there's enough there outside the ring.
I mean, I think the guy's got a huge future still. So, 26 years old, 4 years on national TV, a lot of investment there. Turn heel for the first time. There's going to be something there, at least with him for in the, when he comes back. There's going to be, I think there's a lot of people waiting for him to either cheer him or a lot of people to be upset at him. So it's going to be on him.
I don't dislike him. I like him. I just think that there's a ceiling. That's all. I mean, I don't want to watch him wrestle.
So we got Jake Hager. He's a no business. Jay Lethal, absolutely outraged. Like, he was actually one of the names that I saw tweeted about the most of people that there was like, oh, it's going to be Jay Lethal in this thing, and we all going to be pissed.
Look, bro, that Jared stinks on him, man. Remember when Jay Lethal first came in AEW? Remember the match he was having? Remember how well he was doing?
They hated him then too.
And that's true. Remember how well he was doing? And then he's in here with this Lethal. He's in here with this this Jeff Jarrett shit, and it's like, this is what becomes of you. Jarrettism, right there. This is what becomes of all of it. It's all blight. It's all darkness.
Jay White could be in this thing.
Post-traumatic stress. Just from PTSD, I didn't want him in any round robin wrestling tournament ever again. Right?
Yes, I've seen several sorry ass Jay White G1s.
I'm not going through this. I'm not going through this over here.
Hey man, I feel like he's been on his best behavior time limits are good for him. The TV format is good for him. There's no threat of him going to a 30-minute draw.
Yet, wait till Full Gear. When them niggas go 50, my god,
they're gonna have a long ass fucking match. Like when
the bell rings on that match at 11:05. Nasty.
It's gonna be a lot, man. Jeff Hardy, no business.
No.
Jeff Jarrett would be outraged.
Send them both home. Send both of them Jeffs home.
John Silver would be outraged.
Yeah, it'd be fun, but no.
Johnny TV, John Morrison, no business.
Nah.
John Moxley.
Any with QTV?
Yes.
Nah.
John Moxley obviously could be in it.
Yep.
Person. Juice Robinson. I've seen lots of Juice G1 matches. Some better than others. Juice is not that character anymore.
That's true. But Rich, you wasn't watching like the 2020 G1. You wasn't watching 2022 G1. I can't unsee that stuff, man. I can't unsee that stuff.
Yeah,
that man was out there going sub 4 with Will Ospreay.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to repeat. I don't have Zoom, but I'm going to zoom in. He was out here going sub 4 with Will Ospreay. No,
I don't want to see Juice in the
sub 4 in the final match of the block. No,
I think there's a difference between people finding what he's doing is like mildly entertaining and him being wacky and stuff like that, but like bell to bell tournament top stars, great top of the best workers. Like I would not put Juice in the 12.
Right.
That's the thing here.
Right.
It's not 20. It's not 24. It's not
like,
32. It's 12.
Given what Juice's role is, this is not for the best for him to be out here like going 2 and 3. No, so don't put him in. I put
him in the no business category actually.
Fair, fine by me.
Because like I don't think there would necessarily be outrage for him because he's popular enough.
And he's been having some good ass matches ever since he came in.
I don't think he has any business being in it.
Like you can make an argument that he is comeback wrestler of the year if there was such thing as an award like that. You can make that argument that he is comeback wrestler of the year. That's how well this was from what it was like with Rock Hard Juice Robinson. You absolutely can make that argument. But this does not benefit him in the long run. Put him in this thing to go out here and do that. No, it would not.
Katsuyori Shibata. Roll him out.
You want the man to have 5 matches, huh? Look, it depends on the block. I can be talked to it depending on the block.
I'm putting him in. Could be in it.
Yeah. I can be talked into it. Like, if he's in the dancing block, then I'd be like, I'm in. I ain't got to worry about them go out there and having no head trauma. They just going to avoid heads. They're just going to go out here and just hit people in each other in their chest and neck.
Do you know how Danielson got the orbital bone injury?
No.
You're going to be fucking blown. He got it locking up.
They headbutted or something?
I don't know what the fuck happened. Like, it was like, he did the lockup, his shit got broke, then he wrestled the match. Freak accident. Keith Lee.
You want to throw a monster in?
Yeah, you could put him as a big man in the block.
Does he know how to do jobs?
No, he did a job this week.
To Samoa Joe, you know what I mean? Does he want to do a job to the average size AEW wrestler? Not someone that's actually around his size.
I don't think Keith will have an issue doing business. I think
I'm just wondering because I don't see him, and then like a lot of times you don't see people in AEW is they don't want to do jobs.
I think in Keith's case it's a little different. He's actually kind of I don't think it's a health thing. There's something like I don't know how much I can really say. But
if you can't speak on it,
I can't speak on
something we don't know. There's a reason. Yeah. Okay, it's fine by me.
Yeah. So it's nothing bad though. So
okay.
But
will it ever change?
As far as a tournament, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I
I still want that fucking swerve Keith Lee match. Bullshit. You about to go to a year since they broke up. What the fuck?
But as far as like being in this tournament, I don't think there would be outrage. But he's been such a non-factor. It would almost have to be framed as like a fresh start for him. So right. I'll put him in the could be in it.
Okay. I'm okay with some people like that. Like we just mentioned Andrade. I'll mention Pac. Like we get to Warlow. Warlow being like, yeah, do you want to reintroduce people? This is a good way to do it. You put them in this thing.
Kenny Omega.
No duh. Yeah. No brainer.
Kip Sabian would be outraged. He was on that Jay Lethal list.
People I was gonna say no. Just he ain't good enough for it anyway. Like there ain't no outrage. He ain't gonna be in it.
Commander. Fortunately, no business.
Yeah.
Konosuke Takeshita could be in it.
I would love for him to be in it. Good to see him do something besides, just stand there stoically next to
Don. Yeah.
How many weeks ago was it? How many days has it been since he beat Kenny Omega clean? Or not clean, but beat him.
It's been about 2 months and a week, I would say.
I thought you were about to hit me with that Brian McKnight. And give me the specific months, days, weeks, and hours. I was like, God damn.
I mean, they've terroristic booking has been unleashed on Kenny Omega this year, and I have, just kind of push it to the side at the moment. Like, I'm gonna start beating the drum soon. So, but Kota Ibushi, highly unlikely he would be in this thing. I'll just put him in the no business category. Kyle Fletcher.
That'd be fun, but I don't think he's a big enough name.
Now, you talk about young guys and people that they want to do something with, and they could put him in there. They could even give him a little mini push. I feel like could be in it because I don't think anybody would be upset about him being in it. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't mind him being in it. I just think, if you put Takeshita in, that's two people in the same faction. That's tops. Yeah. Like, do you want him or do you want Guevara?
Right.
I'd probably pick Guevara.
And Sammy's got the head deal right now, so
he's going to be gone that long to where he can't come. Like,
well, he's not cleared for this. He's supposed to be in that street fight this week, but
when does it start?
What's up?
When does this tournament start?
I don't know. I think maybe the week after Full Gear, if I'm not mistaken.
So there's still like in theory like 2 more weeks.
Possibly, yeah. So hopefully, he has the decision. Hopefully the decision's not taken out of his hands.
Yeah.
But Lance Archer, I think he's a no businesser. Really? I know people like Lance. I like Lance. Lance is like.
And he's good, and he's been good in round robins too.
Yeah, that's true. I'll say this: Lance Archer is not better than Sammy Guevara. Like we can end that right now.
Yeah.
But I think that Lance has been a victim of a huge roster, and there's not a lot of upside for Lance Archer. You know what he is. He's a monster.
He's a lot older than you think he is too.
A lot older than you think, and then it's like you put him in there, he's probably losing a lot. They kind of like to protect some of these big guys from like losing a lot. I would put him in a no business. Like, even though like I think he would do awesome in a tournament,
right?
You know what? We shouldn't even be discussing him because he's going to the World Tag League as Monster Sauce.
Okay.
So, Lee Johnson, no business. Lee Moriarty, no business.
Is he still on honeymoon? Oh no, he's back. He's back.
He's back.
Yeah.
Lee Moriarty, no business. Luchasaurus, no business. Luther, no business.
Okay. You just fuck with me over here. I was like, wait, what? Wait, is he Luther or is he Luther now? Didn't they change the spelling for the?
Nah, I don't think they changed it. Nah.
Okay, I thought it was like they took the ER and made
that
it
would be
A.
funny. Luther.
Yeah, I could have swore I saw that.
Oh man, I don't know. Malachi Black.
He should be.
This guy don't work singles matches. Like I don't.
It's weird, man.
Yeah, so.
Maybe that man look, man, that Cody experience just has me shaking. I just can't get over it now. I just can't.
Like I put him in the he could be in it.
He
but
should be in this fucking thing.
Highly unlikely. Like
give me my fucking Kenny Omega Malachi Black match, Tony Khan. God damn it.
Mark Briscoe. You know what? Mark Briscoe, every time he wrestles, gets over.
Because he's a good ass wrestler.
I think as a singles wrestler, he's the perfect lost post in this thing. Or you want to tell a fucking like great story. His match with Jay White this week, I really enjoyed it.
Right. Imagine him versus Moxley. Imagine him versus Danielson. Imagine him versus Kingston. Imagine him versus Hangman.
You want to break him out as a singles person and be like, all right, we show reference to, or we show, deference to his brother and, the Briscoes tag team. But like the person that's here now is Mark.
Yeah. Like Mark,
and
look,
I think,
either Mark or Dak should be in this fucking thing.
Look,
either one, don't care. Pick one.
You give me the pick of one, I'm going to take Mark.
I'm just saying, like, there should be a tag guy in here that goes out here to showcases, or goes out here and, like, his excuse for losing is he's a tag guy. He's really fucking talented. He has great ass matches, but he's a tag guy, so he's going to lose.
I believe Mark Davis is injured, so don't worry about that. Mark Quinn also injured. Matt Hardy, definitely a would-be outrage. And a no business. Matt Hardy is in this thing.
Was he the first AEW grifter?
The first AEW grifter?
Yes.
No, absolutely not.
Who? Cody?
Yes, it's Cody Rhodes all day. Absolutely, Cody Rhodes is the first AEW grifter. Shit. Look at the results.
It's like, well, Matt Hardy showed up during the pandemic. Nigga, Cody showed up at the press conference for the open. Oh shit!
Ultimate grifter, yes.
And he got the biggest grifting network in the company still to this day.
Amazing. Did he lead him behind to be like, hey, you keep your eyes and ears open for me over here, it like the reverse clutch situation. Leave a couple tentacles over there, be like, hey, can I come back? Keep an eye out. Oh
man, it's gonna be real nasty when Cody finished that story with the AEW World Title in 3 years. It's gonna be real nasty. He never wins that shit in WWE. That's how they get fucked. And then he comes back home, if you will, and wins it for Jacksonville. Oh, that'd be nasty. That'd be nasty. And he finally get it coming back this time. He'd be like, who you got on top? Back to MJF again? No, not what we just did. Put it on Cody. If you want to go to MJF again, have it be on Cody and have him take it off Cody.
Matt Jackson.
No.
No.
Matt don't want to do it.
Yeah, like Matt wouldn't want to do it. Like, and I think he
5 singles matches. No.
Yeah, why would I do that?
Has he even had 5 singles matches in AEW history?
I remember him wrestling against
Phoenix,
Pac.
Yeah.
He had a match. He had a match against Pac, and he had a match against Phoenix, I believe.
Rich, this man didn't want to have a match against Hangman. If there was anybody that I wanted Hangman to beat up, it was Matt Jackson at that time. He didn't want to do that. That man ain't going to wrestle no 5 singles matches.
Yeah, he would be great, but
it ain't what he's looking for.
Yeah, Matt Menard, definitely not. No business. The nipples will not be hard over here in the AEW Continental Classic.
We already passed it. Matt Menard, Angelo Parker. Look, man, I saw a clip
You didn't see the full one. I saw the one you watched. You didn't see the.
I didn't see. I don't care. I don't care about the full clip. I don't care about the rest of the context.
You need to.
What I care about was I saw a zoomed in clip of Angelo Parker and Ruby Soho, and they was talking and chatting and flirting, and boy, that looked like that was some real on screen chemistry. Like if look, I'm not gonna speculate. I don't know. I don't care. It ain't my business. But when I saw that, and I was like, I want the Ruby Soho, Angelo Parker rom-com right now. Put it on BTE, put it on AEW YouTube. I'll watch it. Because that was some real chemistry going on. That was some George Clooney, Julia Roberts chemistry. They was eye fucking the shit out of each other.
I contend that the second that ends, you missed a part of the clip. So like they zoom,
I don't care about the rest. You tell me. I'm just letting
up.
people know before you get to it. I don't care about the rest. That's what I'm interested in. Go ahead, Rich.
They break them up, and then Saraya and Daddy Magic come face to face. Saraya is
ready for the fight.
Kind of like they're trying to keep them apart, essentially.
So
the deal is like they face to face after that, and it's like it's this moment of tension, and it's right there. And I think they know it, and the people that's actually going to get together.
So their friends keeping each other away.
Yes, like they keeping their friends away, but they're gonna fuck around and actually like I see it now.
Rich, it's like Romeo and Juliet. You finish the rest.
I'll say so the planet.
Good boy. I saw them two looking at each other. I was like, oh man.
Look, it's even more than you think. Max Caster, absolutely not.
That's an extra hand. Max Caster, absolutely the fuck not. No way.
Michael Nakazawa hasn't wrestled in years.
Oh my god, is he still employed?
He is.
Is he like a liaison still?
Yes.
Okay, get them checks, Nakazawa. Keep getting them checks, and don't wrestle on my TV screen ever again.
Mike Bennett, the Kingdom or half of the Kingdom, would be outraged for me.
I don't even have an outrage. Just no. Just a no.
Mike Santana.
Ooh. You know, this would be a great place to introduce him, get him in the singles thing. He wanted to go singles. He just had the thing with Ortiz. Yeah. This would be a nice spot for him. Will he get in? Probably not, but I would like to see him in here.
You know, I feel like there's a... You know, his whole thing is how held back he's been. And...
If he fucks around and goes 2-3, what does that mean?
You know, like, I'm like, hey, man, that's perfect. It's up to you now.
Right.
You can show us.
Look, and, you know, he loses one of the matches, like he goes 2-3 or whatever else, or 1-4. He just beat up somebody at the end, and then there's a feud right there for cost somebody at the end. Yeah.
I just give him no shot in hell at, like...
Winning. Of course not.
Winning. So it's like...
He's someone who will have a losing record in this. Yes.
So I don't... I think if they announce him, it would not.
I think that Santana is charismatic enough and a good enough promo to do sink and swim with eating losses. Like, I'm not saying he'd be as good as a Swerve, but I think he's someone that can survive eating losses and still get over in spite of eating losses.
I'll put him in the could be in it pile. Miro.
He want to be in it. He have to do jobs. So don't even
business. For me, I know people be like, "Oh, we love Miro." I'm like, "Hey, man, that man got one idea."
Well, he has two. He has two. Squash small people, have meat slapping match with big people. He has two. He has two ideas.
Look, I was gonna say he had one idea, and she just walked in the company, calling herself hot and flexible. So,
whose ass did he kick a few weeks ago? Somebody came knocking on the door.
Action and Dread. No. Actually, it was a young wrestler.
Right.
I don't recall.
Can somebody in the chat tell us who Miro?
It might have been Action Andretti. Maybe.
Could have been.
So MJF is the champion, so if he wants to be in it, sure. But
I mean, the way he's been wrestling lately, he'd be good as fucking it, but no champions.
So Nick Comoroto, absolutely not. Nick Jackson would be fucking phenomenal in this thing.
Yeah.
I'll put him in the could be in it.
I mean, you know, you throw him in. Look, Dax, Mark Briscoe, him. Like he could be that person, like tag wrestler you throw in there, and you know has a losing record, but you know does the thing because obviously he's the best of those people in that position.
Let's see. Dax is on 2 lists for me. Nick Wayne. Now
Nah.
I feel like it's too early.
Yep,
but
that's what it is.
You know, there's nothing wrong with going young, I think. And I don't think he's
remember last year when the Grand Prix had the pre-Grand Prix for like the last was it 3 slots, 4 slots? Yeah. Like he'd be in that.
He's Saida.
Yeah, like Saeed and Lady C and Ami Saray and Hina and Rena, like and Hannon, like he'd be in that, not this. Or no, Hannon actually made it, but you know my point, like he'd be in one of those, not the actual real thing. He'd be in that competing and ultimately fall short, and you hope next year he wins it or whatever else. But no.
Orange Cassidy. Obviously he could be in it, but he's a champion, so Ortiz, I think he's a no businesser.
Yeah.
If you want to reintroduce Pac, you could do it here.
Yeah.
No one will actually be upset about Brewhaven. There's nothing wrong with going young. Is an insane quote out of context. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Don't quote it out of context.
Parker Boudreaux, no.
He's still on the roster?
He's still there. Yep.
Why?
No answer for you.
Okay.
Paul White, massive man, no business.
Outrage.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you're right. Outrage. Then we
Holy
got...
shit. It's Tall Paul, baby.
God damn it.
That was great.
Give me 1 second.
Oh, man. So, going through this, you get reminded, like, this roster has a lot of, like, people on it. A lot of people. Like, you know, I see people like Keem talk about, like, you know, they can cut the fat or whatever else. And I'm like, you know, they got 3 AEW shows and they also got ROH. So I don't know. And you name these people and I'm like, nah, this person has no chance of being on this thing. It's like, you know, if you want to keep people fresh, I like the fact that they have a lot of depth, but, you know, Austin, you can cut some overhead if you so choose. It's up to you.
Penta could be in it.
Yeah.
Peter Avalon, no business.
We were just talking about people that, never mind.
Powerhouse Hobbs. Interesting one. Because I don't think he would necessarily be great in it. There would not be outrage, I don't think.
No, there would not be. If you're like, they're finally showcasing him.
Yeah.
Like, he can go, you know, you can go like 3-2 and then beat somebody big and not win.
I'll put him in the could be in it bucket.
He can get the big muscle guy push in that way, you know.
Preston Vance, no business. QT would be outrage.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's outrage when he's ever on my screen, so.
Stupid. Ray Phoenix. I think he's injured right now, but I'd love for him to make a miracle return.
Yeah.
And someone please let Ibu know that he's absolutely insane for his ranking of Ray Phoenix. I'm sure y'all did let him know in his audio.
Luchadors, what happened?
Yeah, he had an insane luchador ranking list. He was like saying like Raul Mendoza was like better than Vikingo or something like that. I was like, all right, bro. No. Like, what are we doing?
Look, man, I like Raul Mendoza. He is not Vikingo.
No. Ricky Starks. He could be in it.
Tag champion.
That's true. So, no point in really discussing him there, but Roderick Strong. He could be in it. And James, I watched his match on Collision this week. Mm-hmm. I feel like I've never seen Roderick Strong more over in his entire career. And it's due to the comedy shit, and he's going to end up a babyface.
Yeah, okay, fine. Look, if we're talking about that, this is a stage for reintroduce some people, right? He gets his ass out that fucking wheelchair, and take off that stupid ass, goofy ass neck brace, and be Roderick Strong again. Great. I would love it. I miss Roderick Strong wrestling.
Roosh. This tournament is crying out for somebody like Roosh. He don't give a fuck. He's a badass. He's going to bust his ass every match. Sign me up for some Roosh in this thing.
Yeah. Roosh getting that Tony Khan money is the best Roosh we've seen.
Sammy Guevara's injured, so I'll move on. Samoa Joe, he could be in it.
Well, it makes sense for him to be in it because he wants to, he wants a title shot, and he lost the one he had, so there's no reason why he would get one other than win this thing. So,
yeah. Satnam Singh, Jesus, no business.
Let's just make it real quick. The whole Jared act. No, like if you want to say Sanjay Dutt next, the answer is fuck no too. Outrage.
Brewhaven saying he's so bummed we never got Roosh versus Punk. Why?
Oh, you wanted to see Roosh chop the shit out of him?
Punk would freak out after a single Roosh chop. Sir Sam says, "Yes, that's true."
See, I already knew where they were going with that. He's gonna hit him. He wants to see the Punk take one of the big overhands. I already knew where that was coming.
Well, I mean, Jack Perry was man enough to stand up to it, so he's like,
not for long.
I didn't hear him crying.
Oh, he too young in the business to realize he got her getting taken advantage of.
Can't quite recognize
you a victim.
Oh man, that combined with the going young and a problem. Jesus, what are we on tonight?
Yeah, out of context, yeah, man. Look. Do we have to say, that's crazy every 5 minutes on this show now?
That's crazy,
Has Mason Cameron ruined podcasting?
Look, they have found a way to get the original gag back in. They decide to not use pause. They're just like, hey, that's crazy. So, they're, protecting themselves from any accusations. Scorpio Sky would be outraged.
So they did the vignette thing for him on the beginning opening collisions. Like, is he a regular on Collision or no?
Brother, I do not believe
Scorp
he is.
is a nothing. Jesus, bro.
Yeah, like it's like the time has passed.
Are you saying this stuff just for us to read or for us to say out loud? Because this is brutal.
The chat is so burying Scorpio Sky right now. Jesus. Serpentico, no business. Sean Dean, no business, unfortunately.
The captain?
The captain. Man, whoop MJF.
I just pulled a Stugotz. Like, I just said nickname or whatever.
Captain.
Yeah, useless waste of space and time.
Sean Spears would be outraged.
He's still employed?
Yes.
Okay.
Sting, sign him up. We gonna get good use out of you before you lay it down, Sting. You done been in a round robin tournament before? You done worked the G1 once or twice? Work rate Sting. Let's go. Danielson versus Sting. Omega versus Sting. Let's see it. I want to get Kenny Omega in the ring with Sting before he lays it down. This is how we do it. I would love to see Sting in this thing. Run it. Can Sting take the one-wing angel?
No. That's not can he take the one-wing angel. Can Sting take the Snapdragon suplexes?
Oh my God.
No, here's the thing. They shouldn't do it, But
wow.
when they get into the third act of that match, and he hits his first Snapdragon, and Sting gets up, no cells, and beats his chest, I will fucking lose it. I will fucking lose it. I would jump on my chair like, let's fucking go!
Brewhaven, Danielson versus Sting, but somehow Danielson is the one that gets hurt. God damn it. Oh, so Sting, unfortunately, no business on being in this. Stu Grayson would be outraged. For sure.
He just got back. No, don't do that to him.
Stu Grayson. Swerve absolutely should be in this thing.
Yeah.
Hell, could win this thing.
Wouldn't bother me.
Tony Nese, man, I'm a long time Tony Nese guy here, but I feel like Tony Nese is on the outrage meter. I think Tony Nese is an awesome worker and not pushed. He's not pushed as anything really meaningful or anything. So, fortunately, he's a no business kind of guy here.
Yeah. He's still doing the thing with Mark Sterling?
I think they're still associated. Yeah.
Okay.
Trent Beretta. For me, he would be yes. He's only allowed to work his matches on Rampage, though. If he has to work anywhere else, throw him in the would be outraged thing here. Friday Night Trent is real. My man Black Saber Jr., I always see him tweeting about it. Said Trent goes to 99 overall on Friday nights, no matter where it is, whether it's in New Japan Strong, Rampage, whatever it is. Friday nights, he don't know, he don't care about the event. It's just Friday, like Rebecca Black, and he shows up. It goes off.
Look, man.
Friday, like Chris Tucker.
Look, man, Trent's a go hard, so I would love for him to be in this thing. Let him go at 1-5.
Damn. Oh man,
Trent don't care about winning and losing. Hey, can we bring Kazarian back to go 1-5 in this bitch too?
Man, give me a good old Kazarian match.
Put Kazarian in one block, put Trent in the other. Both of them go 0-5.
I might need to see the next time he's advertising Impact and check out a Kazarian match, because that guy was awesome.
Yep.
All right, so our list of guys feasibly that could be in it, and there would necessarily be like, all right, it's like, I understand what's happening here. There's no reason for really be upset or anything. But obviously, Bryan Danielson's already in this thing. Kind of left the champions out. Adam Copeland, Andrade, Bandito, Claudio, Daniel Garcia, Darby Allin, Eddie Kingston, Hangman Page, Jack Perry, Jay White, John Moxley, Katsuyori Shibata, Keith Lee, Kenny Omega, Konosuke Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher, Malachi Black, Mark Briscoe, Mike Santana, Nick Jackson, Dax Harwood, Pac, Penta, Powerhouse Hobbs, Ray Phoenix, Roderick Strong, Roosh, Samoa Joe, Trent, and we actually have two more guys to discuss.
Okay.
Wardlow could absolutely be in this thing.
He could absolutely be in it, yeah. He should be in this to introduce himself, send him towards MJF. He could win this in theory.
Wardlow's on it, and then our final person, Wheeler Yuta.
No. Outrage. Not big enough name. Pin eater.
I think Wheeler's like good enough to wrestle amongst like.
Oh yeah, he's definitely good enough, but it's a star power thing, and also the roster positioning. He's the pin eater for the faction. I was
gonna say he's like the fourth guy in his unit, so kind of hard to see that there. So and that list of names that we had that could be in it is in the 20s. I don't have the exact number here, but I could probably find it.
Lord McDonald says you are getting a block with Brother Zay, Jeff Hardy, and Jeff Jarrett. You will like it. I won't like it. I won't watch it.
Yeah, I'll turn this shit off just like I did the other week on MJF.
Look, AEW right now is currently putting out 5 hours of weekly live or weekly episodic television. I am watching 2 of them.
So as far as the outrage, I think if you see Stu Grayson pop up in this, it's going to be outrage. Brian Cage, Chris Jericho, Dax Harwood, the only man to make 2 lists. Ethan Page, Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, John Silver, Kip Sabian, Matt Hardy, Paul White, QT Marshall, Scorpio Sky, Sean Spears. I don't think there'd be outrage over Wheeler Yuta. He's a weird one.
There'd be outrage because it'd be like, he's a pin eater, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, the funny part is, you went through all those names. The only person, like, immediately I first said, like, actually suggested, immediately my first thought was suggesting outrage. The only person I thought it was QT Marshall. Everybody else was like, yours is just for outrage. Everyone, like me, was like, nah, outrage if he's in here. He has no fucking business being in this thing. For who, for what? What are we doing?
Yeah,
are we making new stars, or are we fucking off?
I didn't write it. I didn't record the no business ones, but you guys know who they are. All in all, it's set to be an interesting tournament. I hope they send a message with this one, because like the Owen Hart tournament should have been, like, I think a lot better. Like I think the presentation the first year and the second year obviously had dramatic differences. That had to do with like only a certain show being allowed to have the tournament, and the style of wrestler in it, and it's just poor planning all around. And I don't think that tournament's kind of lived up to the lofty expectations. But every time you announce something new, you got a chance. And I think there's a lot of people that watching New Japan, followed this promotion into AEW with this. I'm pretty excited about it. Want to see how they kind of put their own spin on it. And I don't know. I'm prepared for how they do it, honestly. Like, are they going to go the big upsets in night one? Or are they going to play it like that? They don't get much more sports than this unless they just completely fuck it off. Sports presentation, like, this is not this is not the kangaroo kick. This is not the Chinese food is too spicy. This is points. 2 points, 1 point, 0 points. Like, that's it. I hope the finals are Omega versus Danielson, and why not? The way Danielson is saying, he wants to make this the greatest tournament in wrestling, and got 12 people here. Go with those 2. You go give somebody else an opportunity, but like, I think you got to do Danielson and Omega 2 at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's the time limit situation? I forgot.
I think it's just 20 minutes.
Okay, that's good, because that's what they do for non-title matches anyway. So
yeah. So yeah, man. Time keeps on slipping.
Or early like non-title match for 20 minutes. Because that Cody and Darby first match went 20, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, what did you think of this announcement, like, of them doing this?
I think it's cool. I'm also interested to see how it works, because that's one of the things that always interested me, is like, how would this work on American television? And I think the only thing I've ever saw really examples when they did that Cruiserweight Classic deal, or not Cruiserweight Classic, but like the Cruiserweight like round robin thing that had like Swerve and El Phantasmo and Drake Maverick and Kushida in it, and it was only 3 people per block, so it was only 6 participants anyway. Mm-hmm. And it was in the middle of the the pandemic, and they were in LA Fitness, so I was like one of the only 5 people that was watching and covering NXT at the time. So, but I remember that's when I first NXT, like, noticed the thing with Swerve was like, he's really fucking good. Garza was in it too, I believe.
Yeah, NXT did that was G1 this year.
That was Breakout Tournament 2019. Never mind. But yeah, just was like, these people are fucking good. But like, it's kind of a, kind of a thing where like they're just being experimental and they don't really know what to do with it. And ultimately, you know, the thing they did was like, all right, Drake Maverick is winning, but we'll give him his job back, you know. And that actually was a fun story.
That shit was disgusting, bro. All that shit was disgusting.
That shit popped a rating, Rich. Remember?
Yes.
Remember he was like, this shit ain't gonna work. I was like, Rich, this shit is like he's doing well with this. And this shit popped a rating at the end. And
bro,
what did they do? Put him in there with Big Damu.
Bro, I was like, this is damn near like a most disgusting promotional. Like had it not been for like several other things,
yeah,
bro, and like his entire storyline was like just exploited. Like his real life firing was like get fucked. Like I don't.
They laid that man off. They laid that man off during the pandemic and then brought him back
and then made themselves.
And then he did a good job, but then they look what they did.
They babyfaced themselves. Oh, we'll give you your job back, man.
Yep.
Fuck y'all, man. Like I don't.
Yep.
Why this shit lost?
Brewhaven said NXT did a G1 this year.
Yeah, they did.
I didn't know that.
So Dynamite last week started with a AEW World Title match. But before we get to that, we had we had the MJF Variety Hour to begin the show. MJF, you know, asked him about Jay White pinning him last week. Said it's not going to happen again. Of course, Adam Cole pops up on the screen, looking 7,000 years old, basically imploring him to take Joe up on his offer if he wants to beat the Guns. MJF was like, hell no, he has a plan, but first he's got to handle Garcia. Then Garcia walks in. MJF is talking about his, talent over tenure stuff, questions whether he's getting the professional wrestler or the sports entertainer. No word on if he was looking into a mirror or not. Then, Garcia said he's getting a professional wrestler. Then he walked off. Roddy rolls in and screams, doing, the bullshit. And MJF was like, nah, and cut off the video. Strong, was like, it's time to remind everyone who the hell he is. And then the show starts, and I'm like, man, I'm getting messages from Jeremy. I'm tired of this MJF starts the show shit. Like, so
it's only the second week it's happened too. It's funny.
Yes, it's amazing. The rope this man does not have right now.
Yeah.
Then we get the match, MJF versus Daniel Garcia. This was kind of worked in a way where like Garcia was like several levels underneath MJF. Kind of reminiscent of like the Hangman Page Dante Martin title match they randomly had that one time, where he just like kind of beat him like without like really much of a challenge, I'd say. I thought they were gonna, go crazy. I thought it was just cool. And there was like a lot of MJF like doing a lot of talking and stuff. So he was trying to sneak, the shit in there in between all the stuff.
I'm watching the match and I was enjoying it. I thought there was like going to be 5 more minutes left in the match and they just won. I was like, oh, okay, so never mind. I still thought like, I really was into the match and was enjoying where they were headed. I thought where they were headed was going to be like 5 more minutes, and then it ended. I was like, oh, okay, guess not.
Right.
Still very good, not great.
It was cool, but it was like, yeah, I thought y'all was gonna, try to send a message with this, but it's like Garcia's got a long way to go, seemingly. But after the match,
kayfabe he does, so whatever.
MJF offered a handshake and all that, but Garcia was gonna shake it. Menard and Parker was like, hell no, get your ass over here. And he was like, you gonna keep following those guys and all this other shit. So the crowd was chanting for Garcia. Something's going on with him, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Sting and Darby against the Outrunners. This team that popped up on the dying days of AEW Dark that was stuck around working in ROH. They're kind of like a throwback kind of team, kind of irony type thing. Pretty funny like character guys. They got destroyed by Sting and Darby here, and this was like Sting had not wrestled in Portland, Oregon since 1989. And
we got that stat from Jim Valley.
Yep, Jim Valley basically was like, this is the first time Sting was there. Since then, the Sting exhibition didn't have any problem with this. So this is cool. Then we got Tony Storm backstage with Carl Shida and Tony Storm earlier today. The
the post match for the Edge and Christian stuff wasn't after this, or no, or was that last week?
That was last week.
Okay,
I think.
Okay. Sorry.
So they did the Carl Shida. They were in black and white. I immediately get antsy because I see this Japanese woman and then this like 1940s style presentation. I'm like, are they about to try to do some like World War II shit? Like I just want no parts of this whole thing. And she just basically like, what has happened to Tony Storm? She's still pissed about what happened at All In. She says she's gonna be the first 3-time women's champion. Or Tony Storm did, and she was never gonna have the spotlight.
Well, the story. Hold on, let me start. The whole story was kind of like explaining something like, ever since Shida won the belt off of Tony Storm at the 200th episode or second anniversary, was it 200th episode or the 2-year?
200 Dynamite 200.
Yeah, I was there and I can't remember which one it was. So, ever since Shida won it off of Tony Storm, that sent Tony Storm to go nuts, to go crazy, and like when she thought that she was going to become the first ever 3-time champion in Wembley, Shida, it didn't happen, and that drove her more crazy. And then her dream being the first ever 3-time champion got taken by Shida, and it drove her more insane, and now she's in the state that she's in. So yeah.
She said, "Chin up, tits out, watch her the shoe." Shida smacked that shit out of her hand.
Yes.
Just get in the ring.
Yeah, match should be good.
Best match of the night up next. Swerve Strickland taking on Penta. This was like a high-end PWG kind of style match. Like I could have saw this at any high level kind of promotion that was running the past couple years. This was awesome. This was just like phenomenal chemistry. It feels like these guys are very familiar with each other. You can draw connections with them back in
Lucha Underground.
And they've kind of traveled in similar circles over the years, and it was I thought it was just like phenomenal counters with them, and then Swerve ended up getting the win over Penta, and this kind of sets up Hangman Page to come back this week.
Yeah, on commentary,
they said he was banned.
Yeah, they said he was banned for the match, so it was like, okay. Once that bell ring, though.
Yeah.
I was expecting.
He got to run it.
Whoop this man ass in. Sure enough.
He got to run it. So Hangman runs out, black jacket, the chair, and he started hauling off on Swerve and throwing punches, whooping his ass like with the chair. It all culminates in a buck or the move he does off,
or whatever.
Yeah. The dead eye, I believe it's called.
Dead eye, that's what it is. Yeah.
He does the dead eye and threw a table off the joint, the stage, and immediately there I was like, I think this is going to be a no rules match. And sure enough, we find out Saturday it is a Texas death match now. Hangman cut an incredible promo on Collision about the entire situation. It was kind of like interspliced with like video packages and all that, and it was like kind of like a live promo. It's like one of the ones that Moxley does, and it was just like he had just some killer lines in it where he was like, I'm gonna piss on your grave. Like he's like, I need to get the text that he said, but it was just like, yes, let this nigga go. Like why do they not let this man like talk more? Like it was awesome. Like it was like match the tone, match the energy of it, and it was just like you got hell to pay. Like you done crossed the wrong line, essentially. Like you went in my house and you got to pay the cost, and it was like some dead serious shit. So have
we still figured out where Mrs. Hangman was, or Hangwoman, where the Hangwoman was while the home was being raided? No,
brother, I have no idea.
No,
I have no idea where the Hangwoman was. Maybe she was, taking a stroll, out in the country
with the newborn baby.
With the baby, You know,
with the baby unattended.
Look,
call CPS.
Everybody raised their children different,
Not
so
like
I
that.
don't. So
I need Miss Heyman to put that shit on, and when I mean that shit, I mean handcuffs.
So we got a video package for the street fight next week. Just a comedy of like Don Callis voicing over the thing with the video game playing in the back, with like the Like a Dragon thing, and I'm like, this is pure comedy at this point. Yeah, like I don't even know what to say. Like, what this shit?
It was a this promotional thing for a video game, so I think it was Yakuza.
It's called Like a Dragon now.
Like
I
a Dragon.
believe.
Oh, okay.
So immediately I'm like, Kota Ibushi gonna fight the Yakuza?
God
Man, this is what they doing? God damn, this is a little on the nose, you know. Lord McDonald Swerve was doing a wellness check. He was making sure that child was taken care of.
Good guy Swerve.
Right. So backstage, Renee was with Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega, the Golden Jets. And they said next week's the final boss battle and all this stuff. Jericho is immediately cut off by the Young Bucks. Matt Jackson makes fun of the Golden Jets name and brings up another name that's kind of cool, the Elite. The guy that helped establish this promotion. Jericho said the Bucks are supposed to be, friends with Kenny, but you weren't there for when Hobbs beat him up. If he recalls, it was all four of them who started AEW, but Matt said, it's typical Chris Jericho, taking credit and cashing a big check. Jericho then reminded Matt who he's talking to, said he still thinks, Jericho and Omega can beat the Bucks. Kenny Omega has a look on his face like he would rather be anywhere at this point.
It like he was trying to disassociate. Like that man was like, how do I transport my mind to Japan sitting next to Kota Ibushi? Like he was like, I want to be anywhere but here.
Yeah. Then Matt and Nick issued a challenge for Full Gear. Basically calls him on his bluff, said, what's up? Jericho said, why don't we up the stakes? If we win, we will get your guaranteed tag team title shot. And then Matt said once the Bucks win, the Golden Jets thing aren't going to team anymore. They need to break up, essentially. Kenny jumps on the mic, says, hey, man, I don't want to fight y'all, but we've done it before, and I whooped y'all ass several times, with Ibushi and Hangman. He said this is what has to be done to make the Bucks grow up and stop being spoiled, whiny, bitchy children. He'll see them at Full Gear. This thing kind of escalated quickly. Right. He said Jericho said he'll be glad to take the Bucks to the woodshed and beat their spoiled asses, and he basically said, I have my own locker room. And then he did that thing where he looks at the camera, but he just walks off and his eyes do a funny, he said some dumb shit. But you were saying, James?
Kenny Omega's absolutely right. They're being ridiculous. And also, might I add, I don't see them bitching to Hangman about them not being there, while they was getting their ass beat either. Because it wasn't just Kenny Omega didn't show up either. So yeah, and also it's think about it. It's think about the stakes that are on the line. A is a title, a shot at the tag team titles. The other is you can't be friends with this guy anymore. And it's damn Kenny, I ain't know them niggas was your daddy. That's a damn I ain't know them niggas was your daddy ass stipulation, man. That's exactly what that is. That shit is so childish.
I feel like
we don't want you to be friends with anybody that we don't approve of.
Bro.
What?
I'm gonna say something right now. And
they came up with this because
hear me out.
Because the shit got moved.
No. That's not where I'm going with.
That's what it feels like.
Are the Young Bucks about to turn on Kenny Omega?
Could be.
Is Chris Jericho and the Young Bucks going to form a unit out of this thing?
Chris Jericho and the Young Bucks?
I'm just putting it out there.
There's so much shit to go with Callis right now to be doing that.
Wouldn't be the first time some just shit got inserted out of nowhere. Bucks feel like they're headed towards being heels, kind of. Jericho is like, he's in that gray area where he could do kind of anything right now.
I kind of feel like
he needs something new. I kind of
feel like Jericho, because he got rolled by Guevara, is like you're in a thing where like him and Kenny are both fighting Callis. I feel like that's still the main story. Like if Jericho is pulled from that, then like who else is Kenny Omega gonna fight with?
Yeah, unless it's Kota Ibushi, but unless it's Kota Ibushi, but I don't know.
So two people versus all of them.
Two versus all, right? But I don't know where this is headed. That's just one thing I had thought of, and I just think it's hilarious how this instantly became the biggest tag team match on the card. According to reporting, everything was set to be FTR versus the Bucks for the belts. Bucks hometown. We're going to do it there. Then all of a sudden, that was not the case, as we saw. FTR drops the championships in a kind of a squash fashion to Ricky Starks and Big Bill. And it was announced on Collision that there's a four-way match between LFI, House of Black, who have not wrestled a tag team match in God knows how long, FTR, and Big Bill and Ricky Starks. So help me figure this out for Full Gear. So help me figure this out, James. FTR decide like I'm not gonna say they decided to do this. What I am gonna say is if I told you, James, how it played out on option A, if you're FTR, you're gonna hold the belts from March or whenever the fuck they had them all the way to Full Gear. You're going to fight Bullet Club Gold. You're going to fight MJF and Adam Cole. You're going to fight and beat the Young Bucks. You're going to beat Aussie Open. You're going to basically you're going to get a team up with CM Punk. You're going to do all these things all throughout the year. And then at the end of the year, you're going to like get to wrestle the Bucks again in their hometown. Basically, you had a chance for one like match that on a legendary stage, Wembley Stadium. You got the Bucks in their hometown, and we know what that's like. So, and then the other door, instead, a month before that scheduled possible match, how about you drop the championships in a squash to Ricky Starks and Big Bill, and then you get your rematch in a four-way that everyone's going to forget as soon as it happens. And then you're in the lesser match at Full Gear. Which one of those sounds more appealing? Why do they politic so wrong? How do you politic yourself into a worse match?
I don't know, man. Whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, there's just two schools of thought. There's either FTR had their heads up their ass, don't see what they're doing, or not see what they're doing, or are short-sighted, myopic, and are doing this petty shit as if it's 30 years ago, or like there was nothing there. Like Tony Khan had nothing for Jericho and Omega, and called audible. Like those are the only two things that make any sense for how this turned out this way. The only only two reasonable paths. And I don't really believe that part about, or the other thing I laid out. I'm just saying it's a possibility that could be it. Because it ain't that hard to build something for Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho. They're two of the four biggest acts in the company, or five biggest acts in the company, whatever you want to call it. So, CM Punk's gone 4. So, yeah, I don't know what the fuck FTR is doing. I don't know. Like they should. I don't know how you pass up on the opportunity to put someone over in their hometown when the next time we're in your hometown, possibly. Like that's the FTR Bucks feud, right? How they've done it. It's actually kind of been like a lot of fortunate things. So the first time they did it, it was in the pandemic, whatever. Can't do anything about that, right? Yeah. Second time it comes like kind of on a short notice, roles are flipped. That's interesting.
or whatever. And it's for the ROH tag belts. You're not burning another AEW tag title match or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
3 happens at All In.
Yep.
So it's like a historic kind of thing itself. It's at All In. 4, this would be the perfect opportunity. One of their hometowns, so it can still be hot. And then you immediately get a 5th match there the next time you're in your hometown. How did they not see this?
I don't know, man.
You know, I never want to hear about the marks this, the marks that, the marks this, the marks are in the dressing room.
I mean,
I never want to hear it again.
That's been the case for some years now in AEW. That's why people lose their minds about one of their interim title reigns to be marked as official.
Unbelievable.
About it all throughout the time they're holding the interim champion, when all it is a plot device to get you to a big money match. When the injured person comes back, that's all it is. If they didn't name it that, it'd be the same thing.
So now, instead of fighting for championships, we're fighting for number 1 contender spots on pay-per-view and shit out of thin air.
Well, that's what happens when you move to having 8 pay-per-views in a year instead of 4 or 5.
Like,
when you do more pay-per-views, things matter less. Or as far as, in kayfabe.
Yeah, like, this was a choice. How do you want to drop your championships in like weak looking fashion, like out of nowhere with no build up at all?
So that you can win them back in the forum, and then after you win, you have the Young Bucks come out and say, "Hey, our title shot that we have it now. Then we'll do it in December at that pay-per-view." That's what they're gonna do probably, but it's stupid not to just do the match in here.
Right, we're gonna do it at this pay-per-view that has never fucking existed all the way in New York.
What time is it?
It's in fucking Long Island, New York.
Maybe they think they need that. Maybe they think they need that to help draw. I don't know.
Those tickets are actually they're doing well or whatever. Like,
at the time when they announced it, were they?
I'm not sure on that, but
no, I don't mean like that the actual show. I mean like AEW is selling tickets in general.
They were kind of cold. I mean, Full Gear was actually doing well, but I don't know how the World's End show was doing then.
Gotcha.
But
and there's also the part where like FTR could also still be in the thing of like final battle last year with the
Briscoes.
Briscoes. We want to have a year end pay-per-view blow off thing with the Bucks. Who knows what's going through their minds? All I think is like they're doing this backwards, or not backwards. They're doing this. They're timing this up wrong. And it's like you lose some steam when you have the title reigns go off of them after having the title so long, just to put on some irrelevant title reign and then get them right back.
Like I pray that it's not something as dumb as FTR wants to be the first 3-time champions before the Bucks do it. I pray it's not something that stupid.
That would be very dumb. That would be very dumb.
Like all time. You are a mark. Like,
who are the other 2 teams in the in that 4-way?
LFI, which is I believe is going to be Roosh and Dralistico.
Oh, Dralistico, not Press Fans. Okay, and what was the other team?
And it was Malachi Black and Brody King.
Okay, so Kings of the Black Throne.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after that, we had Samoa Joe taking on Keith Lee for the ROH TV title. Samoa Joe gets the win. These guys had circled each other kind of seemingly like, sliding doors in the night in WWE. They meet here. I thought Keith actually looked it looks like he's been working out hard, and
that's not what I'm laughing at. I'm laughing at the part where like Keith Lee was NXT champion, then Karrion Kross became it, and then Joe won it from him and is like, Karrion Kross ruins everything. Get the fuck out of here, man.
This was all right. I thought it was kind of slow, but whatever.
I thought it was good. But yeah, it was definitely the silent choice was to go slow because obviously you don't want either of them blowing up, and also like they're big dudes, so they can get away with doing less because people are like, oh my god, it's gigantic people.
Yeah, but the match was less the story here, and it was more like after the match. Samoa Joe vacates the ROH TV title. I've been talking about all these long reigning champions. Personally, I think he should have walked outside and like thrown the belt in the river. I don't care how he got rid of it.
What town were they in?
Saw a lot of they were in Portland, Oregon. Throw it in the Pacific. Bye. See you later. A lot of people crying about the ROH title. I don't give a fuck.
Cry about it in terms of what? That it's been vacated?
Yeah, and that he didn't like put anyone over for it. But I'm like, he's obviously going on to something else, and I think this is something anybody listening to this show should pay attention to. So he's already challenged MJF once. I think Samoa Joe is on the list to get in the lineage. Like I think that's where we're heading with this.
I don't see it unless it's for a short reign. MJF gets it back. But I mean, because like Joe does so well, as far as his presentation and everything he's ever been given in AEW. So like, I wouldn't hate that, but it just seems as like so we're gonna put it on Joe, but like Danielson is like Danielson just say no, I don't want it, and it's okay. Like no, you need to force this title upon this man's waist. Then if that's the case, get the fuck out of here. What are we doing? Like Joe is not still one of the very best pro wrestlers in the world. Danielson when he's not on the shelf still is.
Kenny Omega just lost directly clean to MJF. And then giving it to Samoa Joe would be like, I feel like Joe has a couple strikes. One, he's old. Two, he's in WWE for a couple years, so he gets termed as a WWE guy. He's not really, but and I don't think Joe's like at his peak. I think he only works best with guys like Darby Allin.
Either wrestling brawling matches or he's a monster.
Yeah, maybe that's like what the thought could be here if they went that direction. But
he can't be a long-term champion.
Yeah, this seems like a short term. This seems like a short-term thing.
Yeah, if he were to get his match, on like Winter is Coming, he beats MJF. MJF has this rematch clause that they pick and choose when and where like people do actually have one or not, or whatever. Like, and it's like, all right, we'll do it at the last pay-per-view of the year in Nassau, and MJF wins it back there in the tri-state area. I could see them doing that, but outside of that, God. I don't see no reason to really do it.
They do this thing where he loses that fucking Winter is Coming, challenges for it, and be like, I want to win it, and then wins it back, and then announces, I actually re-signed, quote unquote, even though he's been fucking signed forever. Yeah, that would just be disgusting. But I think this is significant. Him turning in this ROH belt, even though, I just crapped on ROH belt and says it means nothing. 450-day reign, vacate it. I think he's winning the world title next. Because obviously he wasn't going to do no jobs with it. Like, like had he kept it, So, just food for thought, looking at the tea leaves. So Joe says he didn't come to, basically his promo was he didn't come to Oregon just to be the ROH TV champion. So the next title is going to be in his shoulder is the AEW World Championship, whether MJF likes it or not. Cue the little kid from the UK talking about the British Bulldog. OC and Hook are backstage. Orange Cassidy basically cuts a perfect promo about the entire situation with him and Moxley. So he's the only person he's thought about since All Out. Said Moxley left him in a pool of his own blood. Essentially, like, picks up the international title. Sorry, he didn't pick up the pieces of Rey Fenix, but, he picked up the pieces of the international title that Moxley dropped. He needs to beat Moxley in order to be the international champion. He knows he can be and will do that at Full Gear. I think under no circumstances should Orange Cassidy lose this match. And I think it would be a waste. Like it's a weird conundrum now because it's like
he
has
had
to
it
keep
forever, and now it's like, was the plan always for Moxley to win, and then Orange was going to get it back from him? Because now seeing the way this is going, it kind of feels like that was the thing. Like Moxley's going to be a short-term champion to kind of take it off of Orange Cassidy for a minute, and then he gets it back and has a big win. And like Moxley doesn't need that belt, but like it was a cool thing that they did, and like Moxley's a great champion in AEW. So like him putting over Orange could take Orange to another level that he's not at quite yet. So yeah, like if Orange Cassidy should win this match.
Yeah. Guns beat the Bollywood Boys. Always like when I see the Bollywood Boys pop up. Got squished.
Wasn't this a squash?
Yeah, this was a squish. The Guns got on the mic after, and Colton Gunn completely fried MJF. Fried him up like catfish, quite frankly. He called MJF a liar. He's been lying to fans for years. Fact. Which isn't something what generational talent does. They run down their resume. They called themselves generational talents. Called MJF an embarrassment. Said that Full Gear, the always tag team titles are going in the hands of a real tag team. He said, you haven't defended these belts a single time. He's like, you've been champion for like 3 months or some shit. You defend these belts once or some shit like that. He said a couple other lines that escape me right now, but I sent a tweet about it, and it was pretty. I enjoyed this. I think the Guns are entertaining, to say the least. So MJF was backstage, and basically Samoa Joe was behind him, and he was smirking. MJF stormed off. We got a Moxley and Wheeler Yuta kind of promo. Moxley said he's been getting calls to let Orange Cassidy off the hook. Cassidy didn't know what he was doing when he went back to the International. Moxley then questioned, the example that he'd be setting for Wheeler Yuta if he doesn't beat the piss out of Orange Cassidy. Mox issued a challenge next week, so it's going to be him and Wheeler against Cassidy and Hook. Yuta then said Hook messed with the wrong dudes and the wrong crew. He's going to see him next week, so expect that. This ass whooping essentially, and whatever. So it's Hook stepping up in class next week.
They're going to make Yuta's power to the Taz mission, ain't they?
Is that the finish? I think that is the finish.
Yeah, I think that's the finish.
I think that's the finish, unless
they're going to make that Pure Rules ass nigga tap out to a teenager. Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't be the worst thing. We just saw MJF submit the fucking.
No. I wasn't saying it was a bad thing. I'm just saying like it's funny. That's it.
Look, MJF doing what he want. I'm gonna tap out the submission specialist, technical wrestler guy now.
I worked his arm the whole time.
Amazing. Feed them all to me. So we got a Wardlow video package here. It says, the first 3 years in AEW, Foot was constantly on his back, holding him down, making him feel worthless. MJF won't know when or where, but when he realizes it'll be too late. Days of the devil ruling over AEW are coming to an end. I would take another Wardlow squash right now. Powerbomb 10 times, Wardlow.
So this is going to work really well because he's going to play the hypocrite angle on the fans when they get face to face about like how the switch ups happen, and like MJF's still the same bastard that he always was when y'all booing him, and it's going to work. And hopefully MJF plays ball instead of doing the bullshit he did. At
the match.
Yeah. The non-match.
Yeah. This is the first of 2 Julia Hart matches this week that infuriated me. She defeated Red Velvet and Willow Nightingale this week.
So why was like Red Velvet way better than her in that match, and then like Julia Hart won because she spit missed?
To me, the more interesting question is like, why do I don't know if people know what they watched? Like the better wrestler, like the person getting all the praise is not the person like that was moving the shit forward and doing the exciting shit. Like whatever. Red Velvet returns here for the first time in many, long while. I was very happy to see her back, and it was almost like an older era of AEW. Coming back, and it was like, man, I watched a lot of Red Velvet at Daly's place. Happy to see her here. So And also, she wrestled Ruby Soho, and she got some good reactions this week too. Red Velvet did. So I think she's always someone that they can get started. But it seems like Julia Hart's getting like pushed a lot right now. This was decent. This wasn't a bad match. This was all right. I thought Velvet was way better,
and she was out there bumping on the floor.
Nice leg lariat.
Not a drop kick. A leg lariat.
Yeah.
For those that want to tweet like how special that drop kick was, like, yeah, it's real special because it's not a drop kick; it's a leg lariat.
Standing moonsaults, iconoclasm, all that stuff. This ended up with Julia hitting a thrust kick and a moonsault.
Yeah, the Kabashi moonsault that people still haven't seen.
Basic. Yeah. Julia beat Willow Nightingale on Collision, and I remember last time they wrestled, like it was just so much discourse on the timeline. I know they ain't gonna let Julia Hart beat her, and then she beat her, and we were all pissed. And then this time, I saw the same match essentially, and it looked like Willow was gonna win, and she just didn't. And then I felt nothing. I was like, well, choices have been made. So RJ City is then backstage and said, we may have heard some rumblings, and they're true. He's honored to introduce AEW's newest signing, Mariah May. So she walks in. She says she's excited to be in AEW. RJ asked her plans and goals. She said she's a big fan of RJ City's work with Tony Storm. Says Storm's the reason she's in AEW. RJ lets her know that Tony's just left, but next week he'll introduce her to her. Mariah was smiling. She kissed RJ and thanked him. And that was Mariah May's introduction to AEW.
Yeah, it was very NXT-ish. So we'll see what they do next week. But I have my concerns. Is going to be, Supermark helps champion or helps Tony Storm out now. We're done with the Outcast, so now we'll have outside interference via this new person now. And she'll be the heater now. Yeah.
Yep.
And she'll she'll bite the bullets for Tony Storm and help her hold on to that belt longer than she should. Yeah.
Apparently there's some inspiration for this from some movie from the 1950s or something. It actually looked kind of creative if they go that way with it.
What movie was it?
All About Eve, I think it was.
Okay.
But we'll see if they have, they get the time to play that out and all that. But Mariah May coming from Stardom, people may, listen to the Stardom segment, may have heard us talk about her throughout this year. Mm-hmm. She ended up in AEW. A lot of people were dunking on Rossi. He was just tweeting through gritted teeth. It smelled like. I don't know, if people expected her in AEW or NXT. I thought she was always going to AEW.
I thought she was going to NXT. But, okay.
I think she's a good wrestler. And she's I think she's going to get every chance, to be, to get over. And pairing her with Tony Storm, you can see the vision for what they're doing here. So,
yep. I don't know if you listen to any Observer radio lately.
I have not.
I wonder how many times Dave Meltzer used the word marketable.
I mean, but as far as I didn't have a problem with the debut or anything, because it's no matter how you debuted her, you sent her out there in front of the crowd. Who? All this other shit. Right. You play a video package. It's a video package. It's just an introduction. It's kind of about what you do from here. I think she's already properly earning her AEW stripes on Twitter. As she's become a target of the McMahon Defense Force immediately.
Why is she? What happened this time? What is the?
So they were digging her old videos from when she was Sexy Dynamite and all that, and she was shaking her back.
You're talking about doing like the New Blood stuff?
Yeah.
Oh.
And all that, and then now that's now AEW's problem. That's right, Tony Khan. I'm like, yeah, find video from Stardom. Start talking shit about AEW.
Find ass shaking video from Stardom, not like the Rose Gold versus like Ano Poi tag match when they're out here like dropping each other on their necks. Right? Don't show that. Don't show any of the Grand Prix matches versus her versus Julia, her versus Ano. Right? Nah. Don't show none of that.
Nah.
Right? I see it. Like I see it's playing into the look and that stereotype she plays. She plays like a mischievous like sex pot type or whatever else. So like before she gets in the ring, people are gonna be like, she's a fucking diva. And then the bell's gonna ring and you're gonna see that like, oh, she's actually a decent wrestler. And then like people are gonna be like, I guess they'll change their tune or I don't know, but like we dealt with this when she first got to Stardom, Rich.
It's gonna be interesting. Like how old is Mariah May?
I think she's in her mid-20s.
Okay,
let me look.
Because it's crazy is like they're going over like Julia Hart. And I don't mean to bang on Julia Hart, but there's a little. I think there's a love affair with the fans to a degree
25.
there. Okay, she's 25. When they see Mariah May, I got a feeling they're gonna. I think they're gonna take the Mariah May in the ring quite well. Hopefully, she gets to do it rather than pigeonholed into some wacky character.
She gets her match versus Sheeta.
It's on.
When they see how she bumps on her neck, they'll see it's on.
So we got our main event up next. Switchblade Jay White and Mark Briscoe, as I mentioned earlier in the show. I thought Mark Briscoe was excellent in this match, and this was just like this crowd was coming apart at the end. This was like the end of a long show, kind of, and this entire show kind of had a kind of a directive to quote unquote restore the feeling or
after last week,
get it on track. I didn't think this was like one of the great Dynamites ever or anything, but it was a good show.
But look, man. Every time AEW has one of them shows, they always find a good way to come next week and be like, we have saved the promotion. This was a promotion-saving show.
Yeah. How many of those have there been? I would
There's probably been like 20.
It's just going through the history, like, fuck. Like, remember when they saved the promotion on pay-per-view in Chicago 2 months ago?
One of the greatest shows ever, yeah.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. Rich, we be joking about this shit like every few months, but like I can't, one of them stingers gonna come and they're gonna be like, "It's the end. It's the end. Stay offline." Like y'all trip about this shit way too hard. The discourse is rotting y'all brains. Y'all think this shit's actually on the line. It's fine, man. It's fine. They have a bad week here and there. It happens.
Hey, man. It's not like we got to watch Sonata in the main event, so. Life could be worse, But yeah, Jay White and Mark Briscoe, I thought this was a really solid match. Get White another win here. And but Mark Briscoe, man, I want to see that brother all over this. If they put him in a tournament, I'm gonna like go on the timeline. Like if because I inevitably I will see someone talking shit about it. I'm coming out with the dunks for Mark Briscoe. So TK ain't put the belt on Jake Lee yet. I mean, yeah, but much improved from this week. So this week is AEW Full Gear on Saturday. We can kind of explore the stuff that's announced so far. Looks like there's 8 matches announced so far and then a pre-show. I don't know if there's anything getting added this week. But, everyone's kind of locked in different places here.
I'd like to go to 10.
I can
go to 9 or 8 because they know MJF and Jay White need that whole 60-minute block.
they might get a fucking long ass match at the end. Maybe that's why. But I would count on 2 more matches getting added if I had to guess, because I'm sure there's somebody I'm not thinking of.
How do you imagine on the Revolution card when they did the Iron Man match?
I don't know. I had to look.
Oh man.
But as we mentioned, Sheeta and Toni Storm match for the AEW Women's World Championship. This has Toni Storm written all over it. If you pay attention for weeks, it's like they were trying to rush this belt back on her.
They expedited the title defenses for Sheeta so they can get filled. It'd be like, damn, they took the belt right off. Well, she got like 5 defenses.
Yeah,
Okay, buddy.
Run it up.
Okay, buddy.
We know what's going on here. Also in the pre-show, MJF doing the ROH Tag Team Championship thing.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah. Getting back to the women's world title match, like I do appreciate where like they're like, hey, Saraya can't do this. Take the fucking belt off her. Give it back to Toni Storm, or have the Toni Storm match with Sheeta as opposed to Saraya and Toni Storm. That'd be a fucking disaster. I appreciate them. I appreciate them being like, we can't do this. We it stunk since the second we brought you in. It got worse and worse and worse. The other 2 people, like, you were the worst person.
Hey, she's been here a year now.
You were the worst person you were the worst person in your faction of 3 people, and we put the belt on you, and we gonna move on. We did that. We put.
I'll say this.
Yeah,
you might not like it, but Saraya versus Sheeta better than Ruby Soho versus Sheeta.
Yeah, you're right.
Look, I don't feel good about that at all. But
but you're right though. You are right.
She's been here a year now, James.
She doesn't have to be here another year. She can just go away.
God bless her. She's I'm sure she's made a nice living this year. So shout out to her. You found a way to get paid all this last year. I don't know if she's wrapping it up. I'm not saying nothing like that. But it seems like there's been a clear reduction in role here. So we'll see.
I mean, before she was the champion, she was a manager. What is it with Major American pro wrestling where like these women's acts are basically managers, and that is how they get to being the champion? What is it with this year of pro wrestling in America?
I mean, that's works in Sable, so I mean, China, that's kind of the blueprint, actually, James.
Rich, I thought the horsewoman moved us past this.
No, we're not past kneeling, James.
No,
we're not past kneeling.
Oh shit.
Sting, Darby Allin, and Adam Copeland versus Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, Nick Wayne. This has Babyface Army getting the win all over it because Sting never loses.
Yeah.
Nick Wayne, get ready to lay it down for somebody. Coffin drop.
Yeah.
Singles match for International Championship. Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley, as we mentioned earlier. It seems like this is an Orange Cassidy win that needs to happen here. And they had a great match the last time they went at it.
Is it possible for them to drop confetti for a champion retaining? because like it feels like the plan was for him to get it back and they were gonna drop the confetti, but it's like, I mean, you beat Jon Moxley in AEW clean, like you should drop confetti for that moment because that's a special moment. Jon Moxley don't do jobs often in this promotion with good reason, So yeah, I think it would be appropriate to drop some orange confetti.
OC coming back. If he wins this thing, Mox is going to the Dome after this. Or not immediately after this, but
yeah, but he's going to Dome to be in a 3 with David Finlay.
Yeah, That shit is
It's like
depressing.
he can afford to take a loss. It don't matter. That shit don't matter.
Oh man. Yeah. David Finlay. Yeah, we could be watching David Finlay, James. Texas Death Match, Hangman Page versus Swerve Strickland. And I gotta say, man, I'm looking at this match, and then I'm looking at MJF and Jay White, and I'm putting my money on this one right here.
Wasn't it a better match?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, in a different world, if they had kept more focus on it throughout the instead of taking their foot off the gas with it, like, you could have made this a lights out match.
Yeah, I thought that's what they were going to do, but they didn't go that direction. Texas Death Match. This is Hangman's match. Never lost one of these. We know how he gets down in these. Literally earlier this year, one of my 10 favorite matches of the year with him and Moxley.
Yeah.
I thought that was 5 stars, and I expect, Swerve and Hangman to match that or exceed it even. Swerve's a psychopath. He's down for the carnage. Just, talking to him.
This man fall through glass panes before. He's out of his mind.
Or just talking to him, just like, like not even really like about anything, just more like, hey man, like, just hearing how he approaches like hardcore matches, like there's like almost nothing. He's like, oh yeah, I'll do that. Like, and it's like some of the just crazy shit like you can imagine. I think there's
Does he want to go to Freedoms?
I'll ask him about that. I'll ask him about Freedom.
I don't want to know. You can ask him. I don't want to know the answer ever.
Right?
If the answer is yes, I'm going to be disappointed.
I would be shocked if he went if he ever did an appearance on like Freedoms or something.
My dream match is to have a Korakuen Hall main event against Jun Kasai. Oh fuck, Jesus Christ.
Oh man. But as far as like these guys getting to it, like this is gonna be sensational. Their last match was sensational. This big stage, LA. I think there's gonna be Swerve. Hangman always does dope pay-per-view entrances. I think Swerve has something up his sleeve. This is a big match. Like I think this is.
So will you be upset with him if he breaks out some Kobe tribute and loses?
Yes.
You better tell him now. You better tell him now.
Don't be doing nothing with Cole. Look, if you're losing,
if you're gonna lose worse legacy, you better worse than LeBron shit.
Yeah, worse than LeBron shit. Exactly. Fuck. But yeah, this is gonna be sensational. I'm predicting one of the best matches of the year here.
I could see that. I could see that.
Golden Jets, Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho versus the Young Bucks. Kenny Omega versus the Young Bucks has never failed me ever in life. And Chris Jericho will just like, he'll do his thing, and he's smart enough to like figure it out amongst all these guys. Storyline kind of microwaved the last 2 weeks, but I think
I did like what they did with the promo though.
Yeah, I think it's enough. I think some fuckery could be afoot, as I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
But that's just a wild idea from me. Don't take that seriously. But I think this is the time the Young Bucks win one of these.
You would think.
But I don't know. The Young Bucks ain't exactly been look. They've faced that terroristic booking this year too. So like, man, either. Like, is this just Chris Jericho hitting the juice effect on Matt Jackson and then take it to the house? Because we can't let Kenny win. You can't let the Bucks win.
It's funny in a match with Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and Chris Jericho. You almost have to be like, this is a match where someone must win. Given the year that they've all had, someone must win one of these.
That's a great point. Nobody's talking about that either. All the putting over these guys have done. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So, maybe I fully expect like Callis to come out there and fuck Golden Jets. Who knows? Who knows? But like I'm of two minds with how this match is going to turn out. My expectations, like it could be. I don't think I'll go as far as saying this could be another Golden Lovers versus Young Bucks or Hangman and Omega versus Young Bucks match. I think that's too far out the bar. I think those are two of the three best regular rules tag matches I've ever seen. And but I also think it'll be much better than than the Young Bucks versus Jericho and MJF match from 2021 that I fucking loathed and was just too contrived, and the suspension of disbelief kept getting played with when they're doing these guys have the field division getting caught with stuff when their field division must be 60 degrees.
They got the Michael Vick quarterback cone.
Was that 05 Madden? No, 06 Madden, I think. 05 or 06 Madden when you had the quarterback passing cone and you playing with Joey Harrington. That's the kind of field vision they got. It's get the fuck out of here. They got the field division of one of the cameras in Metal Gear Solid. Not even one of the guards, one of the cameras where he's it's not one of these, it's one of these. I know, man. Get the fuck out of here. So yeah, it'll be somewhere between. I probably put where you put the over under. I probably put it at 4.25, just to be nice.
Yeah. I think they can go over that. And I'm gonna go with the Bucks on this one. If they don't, that'd be weird. Them
losing LA would be really weird.
Yeah,
that'd be really weird. I think that would bring the crowd down.
Yeah. 3-way match for the TBS Championship: Chris Statlander versus Julia Hart in either Red Velvet or Sky Blue, and all eyes kind of point towards Sky Blue.
Sky Blue can finally turn heel, and then she can join Julia Hart. Fuck, man! Enough of the women with heaters that hold on to their titles. They're about to do that. They're about to do that with Toni Storm and Mariah May. Or that's what it seems like. They already did it with Saraya and Toni Storm and Ruby.
All Chris Statlander does now is cut awful promos on Collision. She's always backstage, kind of when they cut to her after Julia Hart wrestles. Julia's kind of the one they're pushing. After their match last time, it was almost all right, we're going to do the first one. We'll have you win, and then now you're going to drop the belt to her. That's what it kind of seems like.
Can she go back and be an alien?
No, she's just a person. It's
horribly awkward. I'm asking, can she go back?
Can she?
Yes. So then we have an excuse.
I always liked the alien, so
I did too. She didn't have to talk.
Yeah.
I want to see the alien wrestle. I don't want to hear the human talk.
Yeah.
Because when the human talk,
just weird things come out.
Even when she was the alien, she cut the one with the Layla Hirsch one.
Remember?
The talking game ain't her thing, man.
Admittedly, kind of a hard line or whatever. It was just I think you were a little too.
I don't know hard. She was a babyface.
Babyfaces say fucked up things sometimes. 4-way tag match, mentioned earlier, AEW World Tag Team Championships, Ricky Starks and Big Bill. LFI. It is not on the pre-show.
Why not?
But... Why not? I totally forgot.
Or does this match go on as the go on before MJF and NJ White? Is this the bathroom break match?
Probably.
Okay. Or will it be the 3-way with Stat and Julia Hart? I think those would be the two best so far.
I think the tag match will.
Okay.
I think it's actually it might be laid out how it's all listed on this thing. Actually, no, there's no way they open with the women's title match. They might open.
You're right. No way.
Yeah. I just wouldn't do that either.
Same.
Probably start with that 6-man Sting and Darby, Jon Moxley and Orange Cassidy, Golden Jets, women's match, Swerve and Hangman, women's match.
You gonna put you evil bitch. Smith said, "Yeah, put one of the women's title matches on after Texas Death." God damn.
Yeah.
No. Put the 4-way tag championship match after Texas Death.
I guess. Yeah, either way, whatever. I don't know. I know how I would lay this thing out, but that's just me.
But they don't. We don't do that. We don't do it that way in America.
Yeah.
You know, that's too foreign of a concept to put all your biggest matches at the end.
Right.
Like just like, bro, just do an intermission. Like after 2 hours or after an hour and 50 minutes, after an hour and 55 minutes, 10-minute intermission, restart the show. That's what they do in Japan. No one ever freaks out and says, "Oh my god, I can't believe there's dead air" or whatever else on the show. It's like people want to recharge, refresh, and then lock in for the match they care about. It's fine. I promise you. No one's going to turn off. And if they do, you already got their money.
Starks, Bill, and LFI, and then FTR and Malachi Black and Brody King. Anyone could win except LFI, seemingly.
Why
don't really see that. I don't see them strapping up Drilistico personally, but
why is that?
He's just hasn't really established himself yet. He's just kind of, he's Richard's brother. So I like their group though. Like, they even make like Preston Vance seem like he's got like a little. It's just Roosh. It's just anybody that's next to Roosh. It's a cheat code. I feel like
I'm still trying to figure out why Dragon Lee ended up going to NXT. Or he's on the main roster now, but why he went to WWE to begin with. It's like, I don't know. Maybe he was impatient. Who knows? Maybe he thought that like he would get a shot if he's there with his brother. I don't know. Whatever.
Probably got advice from Conan or something. I don't know.
Oh God.
I'm gonna take Ricky Starks and Big Bill to retain this. If FTR wins this back like this, I just think it's just absolute cowardice. Like, I think this is awful.
Yeah, I think they're winning because
yeah,
they're winning. They're winning. I mean, I think FTR is just winning back.
Okay. Singles match for the AEW World Championship, MJF versus Jay White. We did not mention the end of Dynamite. After Jay White's match, all of a sudden, all the masked men show back up with the devil mask, and they're whooping ass backstage or running through the Acclaim. They toss Anthony Bowens through the real glass. Billy Gunn gets wrecked, Max Caster gets wrecked, and then Excalibur is talking about anyone who gets close to MJF, they destroy or whatever. And I'm like,
which made no sense. It was so odd.
This was pointed out to me, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, the only person that they attacked was Jay White, actually. So, right. And Jay White doesn't give a fuck about any of that. He hasn't mentioned them since.
Right.
And then it's like, what is this retcon shit? Like, and it's like, this is like, if they're trying to retcon this shit, this is a stark change that I feel like has been something they've never had to do, really.
Yeah. Like an unnatural retcon, yeah. So it was so odd or awkward that he said that. Like, I was focused on him saying that and being like, "Wait, what? No, Jay White, what the hell? Bullet Club Gold? The hell you talking about?" That I did not until further times talking over this. Like, notice the fact where it's like, "Wow, Billy Gunn sold." That's crazy. I thought he didn't do that. He'll sell for mass wrestlers, anonymous people, but he won't sell for. Okay, gotcha. But anyway,
Billy Gunn, the American Togi Makabe.
Damn. So yeah, man. I don't know. They're bringing back. I mean, they've been teasing the devil pictures of the devil still being around backstage with access to cameras and the production truck, but whatever. So yeah, they're still on the whodunit, and for me, it's like I don't care. They beat up heels.
Well, they beat up babyfaces this time.
Well, yeah, but it's like it's still leading to no answer to who it is, and it's like people. I don't know how much people actually care about this whodunit. I don't know. I don't know if it intrigues people.
This is going to be some Black Scorpion shit, man.
Rich, I've said that weeks ago.
I gotta say, man, I think I've been checked out on this shit since it started, actually, I was like, bro, I don't give a fuck who any devil is or whatever.
Right.
Like,
same.
No, like, I don't think JY has a chance in hell at winning.
He doesn't.
He's been running around with that belt for so long now. It's like no one ever keeps the belt this long in a belt stealing angle. Like, so it's like, yeah, like you might as well not even win the belt. You already got enough photo ops with it. You can just post some shit for the rest of your career. Yeah, I don't remember him being like, that's a fucking candidate for what's that shit called? The Mandela effect. Like, yeah, Jay White was a fucking champ. Look at the picture. Like thing is Shazam and shit. Man,
that's a brown belt. Ew, no.
Right. Like, yeah, like he's held on that shit forever. MJF's winning it back. MJF's moving on to Cincinnati. And Jay White's, has to rebuild or whatever.
Yeah.
But
you have to rebuild, redesign, and reclaim.
Yeah. Maybe that'd be an interesting match. I don't know. Have Jay White and Bryan Danielson ever crossed paths? I don't know.
I don't think so.
I think that would be some nice chopping in that match.
Yeah.
But
you didn't catch my line, my Seth Rollins line just then.
Redesign, rebuild, reclaim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We hadn't talked about Seth on the show yet, so it's like you gotta throw in the dig here and there.
So, speaking of Seth, that was Full Gear, by the way, next Saturday. Dave Meltzer announced there will be 7 new members of the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame. Do you believe Seth Rollins is among them?
No. No. What the fuck?
I think the Bucks are getting in.
Same.
I do not think Roman's getting in.
Same.
I don't think Punk is getting in.
I think he'll get in, but we'll see.
Like the public voting, like some of the people been putting together like the public voting totals or whatever. The only person like that is kind of looking at like, oh yeah, the X will completely burn down. Yeah, the Bucks go in, no Roman or Punk. Oh my god, I can't wait for Friday. But I think JYD is going to have a big jump. Like he might get in the 50s this year.
Just because he moved to historical. That's
looking
weird.
at the public balloting, and then like there's still a lot of private stuff to come in. So who knows? But 7 new Hall of Famers. So like we gonna get some answers somewhere. It could be not wrestlers. It could be old timers and all that. But
I think it could be like 3 or 4 like non wrestlers, some shit like that.
Yeah. But I think you're only like, modern people really. I think the Bucks are going in, but I can't confidently predict anyone else. But yeah, aside from that, we'll be here to review, all of the inductees next week and all that. But yeah, man. Anything else, James, before we wrap this up?
No. I think we're ready to go. Get out of here.
It's time to go.
So that's the end of the show, y'all. Thanks for listening. Be sure to rate somewhere happy you're using to listen to this with. If you're watching from the stream, you can go to our show notes for the podcast. Go to the red circle link there and donate there. And be sure to listen to other shows on the network. Besides One Nation Radio, you have Keepin It Strong Style, all things Elite, and Imps WWE Adventure. Thanks for listening, y'all.
Peace.